wait to get to these.
So this is like it's going now.
Yeah,
So it's like 1 tea bag, 2 tea bag, check, off we go.
exactly that. That's it. So whatever you say now, it's happening. And you've got the big one on you. It's all about you here.
Cheers. God help us.
Yeah, God help us. So
We've been we've talked about this for a while, haven't we? Getting our heads together, doing this.
realistically, how long have we
it's,
been trying to plan it?
I mean, as backstory, in a way, I think, well, we'll start with that. I think we've known each other for over 10 years, I reckon, now, when we used to do that them curries and them networking. And I reckon, I did the Trade Legends one, didn't I? That were about 2 years ago, and I think then you was setting this up. And we said, because I know it were going to be a bit in-depth, and I wasn't out of it. It was only November that I came out of the bastard, sold the last one, so, and then it's been tying up all the shit after it. The bailiffs.
Old door knocking.
The liquidation, and it was just a mess, and that, and I think to sit and talk when it hadn't really ended, what it has now,
Yeah.
it's done, dusted, and I pass it every day and I salute it.
So let's get some context around this, because obviously the viewers on this dying to hear what the bloody hell are they talking about, them two, the slurping tea, eating cake on a podcast. So, yeah, it's fair to say we've known each other for quite a while and we're trying to get this going for a bit.
Yeah, we've done the journey. I think we've been aligned in a way where we've done similar things. The HMOs, flips. What is it? BRRRRR.
Yeah,
What people,
just more R's.
Yeah,
it's like all these buzzwords.
What a load of bollocks.
But we started on tools, didn't we, really? Didn't know each other. You were kitchen fit, weren't you?
Kitchen fitter by trade.
I was a shop fitter.
So, yeah, as trades based, we're very similar in ways. I think as mindsets and everything, I think we are quite similar. And as growth and what we've both got into, very similar. HMOs, mastered them.
Yeah. That were a rough time, wasn't it?
I loved it.
It were mega, but you know what I found was...
It's clients, in it?
There's that much absolute shit flying around there in terms of like the education. I know people who have paid £40,000 plus on education and haven't yet bought a deal. And what I found at that time was we would constantly get people... I remember there were people trying to play us off. Oh, I've got this quote from someone, he's really good. And I'm like, well, get him in. If he's good, get him in. Like, I don't want to be fighting for your work. You either want to come and do it with us or you don't, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the HMO stuff and obviously invested into our game. And we bought and we were renovating at the same time as doing it for the clients and whatnot. So really worked and helped us build our sort of like portfolio. But yeah, it was the clients. What were the rough part for you?
I loved I suppose, I say when I enjoyed it, I love ripping the buildings back and creating them spaces. The clients and stuff. And I mean, made some good money from them, sourcing full turnkeys, project management, and all that, and bringing them through to lettings, but I love the dust and the
Proper nitty-gritty stuff.
the banter shit.
Yeah.
I've had so many people say, oh, you're better off tools, you're better off this. I've tried it fucking 10 times, but I get drawn.
What frustrates me, though, is how many people want to make a quid off you. You know, so I'll give you an example. These courses come up and an investor will be like, sit on a course and they'll come away thinking, right, I'm fueled, I've know exactly what I need to do.
They have the first week of, I'm going to attack the fuck out of it, and then they do fuck all. There's two types of people. There's the people that want to know everything before the start.
Yeah.
And then there's the person that learns from the start and they get into it. Buy an house, 40,000 quid.
Yeah.
You buy a fucking house, rip it to bits, make all your mistakes, and you'll still probably break even.
Yeah. And you're more educated. And you've done it.
Yeah, I mean, but there is them. That's in everything. There's those, but you can be too fucking educated because then you become too cautious, I think.
Not only that, you become arrogant and egotistical to what you've just experienced, and that isn't, as we know, the true story. So you get people who, they'll say like, I know a few people, I'll project manage. You're like, okay, that's great, but what do you think that is? Like, don't just take a fee out of a deal, because you're taking a fee out of a deal, cutting the build team down, stressing it. I spoke about this recently, that's actually causing issues on the actual job. So if you're causing people to work for less money and they kind of need that money and they have an accident, you're actually at fault there. But what I found in that whole journey was there's a lot of idiots out there. And I just wanted to just do it for my son.
I think, yeah, but I mean, when we think of idiots, I just think of my son as well. I'm a fucking
We're a
idiot.
different type of idiot, though.
I've been a fucking idiot all my life. I mean, I've winged it. But the game, I love it. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I mean, to go to the bottom and pick your head up and think, I've still got my tools. I fucking could do a bit more. And you're like, I've had family members like, you're mad, just get a job now. And that kind of spurs me on even more just to think, I mean, I've had one bad project in the last 10 years of full-time property, one bad. And that's kind of knocked me back, the confidence and shit. But it's, you've just got to think, well, hang on a minute, I still built the fucker, finished the fucker. I mean, it cost me a lot of money of my own personal money because I didn't want to drive by the site every day knowing that bet me.
So before we go, because we're going to go balls deep on this,
Yeah.
right? Before we get there, caveat, there's going to be a bit of swearing. So don't let your kids watch this. But it is inspirational.
I can beat the fucker out.
So let's go right back. What was your childhood like?
I had an amazing childhood. I mean, it were broken family. Mum and dad split up. I don't know how old I was now, probably 6. I need to ask my mum, probably 6, 7. My dad left, he left for a bit. There were voids within the parenting. He had to move away for work and stuff like that. And my mum struggled with 2 boys.
What did he do, your dad?
As in?
Work.
Right. He were Remploy. It was set up by the government after war to help people, I think, with disabilities and injuries into work and stuff. And it become quite a nationwide thing. And he built his way up from factory floor to management multiple sites. And I think he ended up with a job of shutting the place. And but he's done all right. He's a grafter. He's a good bloke. But from a childhood, I had a good childhood in a way where there were no mobile phones. Used to go out at 8 o'clock in the morning and come back when it were getting dark.
Proper Yorkshire childhood.
We used to make dens, and as I got older, we used to go fishing. Used to bugger off at weekends and stuff. But whether I should say it on camera, I'd be one of them driving a motorbike down the street with no helmet on, popping a wheelie, or hanging on back of a bus.
Yeah.
With the mandals.
Yeah.
And with feet on, and then when I wanted it to stop, I'd press red button, so
engine
cut out, and then I'd get off.
So I
wasn't a bad kid. I was never in trouble with police, probably because they didn't catch me. But I wasn't bad. I was just a
typical rebel kid,
young lad. And I look back on it now and I smile and I think I'm proper council estate.
Yeah.
Rough. My mum didn't have a lot. She did her best. And it kind of breaks me out now to think she, going from I know what she earned to how she had to bring up 2 lads and to do what she could for us. I mean, we didn't have holidays and stuff like that. We'd go on a coach trip and do whatever she can. I mean, looking back on it now, I think it's amazing that she even did that.
Yeah. Take it for granted today, don't we?
Yes. Yeah, I think we all do. I think because I can still taste that of I'd see kids with like really fancy trainers and nice coats and stuff like that, and I'd have to really bully my mum, be horrible in a way because I want them. I want them. And you don't understand money. My kids don't now, although they've got these Go Henrys. I'm saying my oldest, the 10-year-old. He's starting to understand it and the concept of, I want a game online or I want to do this. Well, use your Go Henry. You can see your balance, you know what you've got.
Simple.
So it's educating, but I certainly won't spoil him. I mean, I've got a 21-year-old, and I won't say I've been brutal on him, but if he wants anything, he has to work for it.
So it should be.
And it were only a couple of weeks ago. He said, how much do you pay your decorator to paint an house out? I mean, whitewash it and stuff. I don't know, say 350, 400 quid. He says, you paid me 50 quid. I says, I asked you what you wanted, and you wanted a game. I said, I'll give you 50 quid, paint the house out. And that's what it was. So he never got lumps or anything anyway. And I think he's shaped now to be an absolute cracking kid, somebody who's I'm immensely proud of.
But don't you think that's like because of your childhood, that's been able to show you how valuable that is for your children.
I don't want to. I mean, the spoilt kids. We've all been around them where they have no concept of money.
Yeah.
And they're always getting bailed out and stuff. And the fact how I've been brought up, I wouldn't change anything. It's just it's weird. I mean, I was going down the wrong path in a way, but I kind of always knew that I had to stay away from it. It's weird, isn't it? How you're within these gangs and they're all idiots and they're taking drugs and shit. And I kind of like, I just wanted to get to work.
Yeah.
I just wanted. I mean, I didn't go to school. I kind of stopped going to school when I was about 13.
Yeah.
Teachers had it in for me.
School reports and red.
One of the teachers actually picked my, when you get them choices between geography, history, and sociology and various things. And this at a year picked all my choices for me. And I said, well, I don't like any of what you've picked me. I said, so I'm not going to them. And he says, you will go to them. And I just said, we'll see. And then from that point, I never went. I went every Wednesday afternoon for double games, and I went every Friday because they used to take the naughties to Pugneys, like windsailing and canoeing and stuff. So I just used to do that, and I just went fishing.
Nice one.
And, I mean, it kind of hinders you a little bit from your spelling and your writing and stuff, but you can pick that up as you go, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I completely get that. So did you leave school and then go into apprenticeship, or what did you do?
No, because I didn't have no qualifications. And they used to publish the bastard qualifications in local paper back in day. So Craig Mitchell,
name and shame.
zero fuck all. So it were, I officially left school on the Friday, and I had to go to the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
And I put in for car body repair. So I thought, buy me an XR3i and put wide arch on and some exhaust and shit.
Big dustbin lids on back.
Didn't have a clue. My mum would just like, she were a grafter and she'd just get out, get a job.
Yeah.
And everybody liked cars then. And the phone up says everybody's asking for that. There's not many. And then we haven't got any available. Only thing we've got is kitchen fair, trainee kitchen fair. And I said, fuck it.
I'll do that then.
I'll give that a try. And I went for interview, sat in his house, this old boy. He had about 5-6 teams of kitchen fitters. And I fucking shit myself, I mean, you do as a 16-year-old, don't you? You're thinking, what is it? And he was a really nice old guy. I started on that on the Monday. And that were it, really. Just learn the trade.
Did you love it?
I did enjoy it. I mean, we were lucky. It were more iron kitchens, so we got in exclusive areas, Harrogate.
Proper areas,
I mean, you got some nice tea, although I wasn't into tea at that age, but looking back at it,
what was cake like?
Oh, I mean, going to the kitchen side of it in general, the little old ladies and stuff where they really look after you. Yeah. I mean, it's hard when they ain't got a kitchen and stuff, but... I do miss that, but...
we used to have a thing we was like, when you do a job for, in York or Harrogate or whatever, and you knew full well if you go to a proper one, and we were doing all that oak skirtings, doors, proper making it look amazing. You can't bodge that stuff. You've got to know how to cut it up proper, But if you'd done a proper job, they'd come out, and we had a bit of a thing, you'd know if they like you because they bring chocky biscuits out. Yeah. So if Bourbons come out, you were game on,
You just get some nice people. You get some that... but I got to a point where the first T-shirt, there's an old picture of it, I think it's on Instagram, and it's T White 2 sugars on the back of my T-shirt. So when I used to walk in through the front door, and they'd see it on the back of my T-shirt, T White 2 sugars. So it was like, straight away, it's like... But you get some that you didn't get anything. You didn't get anything, and I don't know, that was a mixture of what it was, but I'm grateful. I mean, when I started, I got flipped between 3 fitters, 3 totally different fitters. I mean, one of them was laid back. I always remember him driving down A1 with his knees on steering wheel, rolling a fucking backy, and I'd sit there like, fucking 16-year-old fucking... milk tash and that. I'm just like, what the fucking hell's going on here? And
getting cow bites in the middle.
He just didn't give a fuck. I mean, he were a motorbiker and he used to make motorbikes. Just a fearless.
That when tranny vans were proper tranny vans with a massive gear stick in there.
Yeah, fucking.
Yeah.
He would, but he was like fearless. A good bloke. He was a decent fitter as well. I worked with him a bit.
Did he have all 10 fingers?
He was fucked up because he fell off his motorbike a lot. But he was... Yeah, I think he had... Everybody had all the fingers, I think.
I got a machine shop with shop fitting and half
some
of him would turn up like
Yeah,
got
they're
the fingers and
trying to
stuff.
stick ones up at you. And it's like, what's he doing? Is he? He's got fuck all here. So
Yeah.
I got passed between him and another two lads called Daz. There were Daz who were good. He were a good fitter, still fitting. Still see him about. I got passed between him and he were quick.
Yeah.
He were in and out and he were good at what it was. But then there were this other Daz who were ruthless with me. And I mean, he were horrible in a way. In some cases, he were good, but he were firm,
Yeah.
and everything. And old Keith, who was gaffer, he were saying, look, he were going to retire, and you can pick who you want to go with. And in my wisdom, I'm like, I picked the bastard.
You had the bastard come in.
But he were a good guy.
Firm but fair.
I'm forever grateful for everything that he taught me. I never shit on him and stuff. But he worked like it kind of drove the graft into me, if you know what I mean. We'd set off at 6, we'd be in Harrogate for 7:30, get set up, and we'd leave when we get to a point where we know the job's going to be done by Wednesday, because we'd fired like 2 kitchens a week in.
Yeah. So let's just focus on that a second, because there'll be kids today who do listen to this at some point. We knew getting up for bed, for work, getting out of bed early was a necessity, because we didn't really have alarm clocks, did we? So how would you get up? Did you have an alarm clock? Did your mum get you up? How did you get up?
Must have done it. I've been one of them with bells on. Remember them? You had to wind it up on the knee.
Yeah. Oh, do you mean it weren't Kes?
No,
Hands off, socks on, cock.
Yeah, I used to hear me brother get up to do milk and shit. And in olden days where they used to share beds and stuff. No, it was. I think I did have like one of those digital radio clocks.
Did you? I remember mine. I'd get covers getting ragged off, and then you were cold because the eating weren't be on. I had that, and then you were up.
My mum were always first up, so it were like you always got a knock.
Yeah.
My mum, I think she would just after 6 o'clock. She were on first bus she worked at Burberry's.
Because that what it wanted. Let's be real, right? We didn't have these phones, did we, back then? Like we've got now. So if you were told you've got to be there at 6, it don't matter where, it could be end at road, it could be a street away or whatever. You might have had to get there, which is a bus, a bike or whatever. That's really, really important, isn't it? Because you just said there, you didn't let him down. You never fucked about it. You just got on with it. Me and you, we know what that means, but there's some disciplines in there that are lost today. Just even getting to work. How many tradesmen have you had that just don't turn up?
There's every excuse under the sun, and they only live half a mile away.
Yeah.
They come up with everything now.
So there's a reason why we're not like that. Is it because of how we were brought up? Because we didn't have it easy? We had to be there? You couldn't just ring him up because he'd be in van?
I don't. It's an art. I think we could open a can of worms. I think with that, couldn't we? I think I'm grateful. Everybody's different. I just wish more of my trades would be more like me and us in a way. Because if I see a job I know will take me half an hour, I won't wrap up at 3 o'clock to be off at 4.
Keep going.
I get that done. I think because I can start something fresh next day. A lot don't give a fuck. But we're not your average trade, are we?
No, so I suppose this is kind of where we're getting at in terms of...
we're sat here now doing a podcast where your average trade would rather sit here than they'd be in Weatherspoon.
Yeah, just getting absolutely mortal.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't want to upset the trades because a lot of my background is trades and my friends are trades. There's some cracking lads. There's a couple that give...
Yeah, but what's his name now at the minute? You talk to him quite a bit as well. He talks about his journey quite a lot on Instagram. What's his name? That builder.
Phil. Proper Yorkshire builder.
Yeah, he's hilarious, him.
He's come from the landscaping background, I think.
Yeah.
Into this. And he's just an absolute grafter.
But that's the definition, isn't it? We're talking grafters. We're not talking work. Someone said to me recently, it's just a job. It's like, what do you even think that means?
I mean, I've sat in a pub with my friends before, and I've always said to them, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? But I mean, I'm always this. Of,
Yeah.
Where do I want to be in 5 years' time? I mean, it's something now where mine's kind of, this for the first time in a long time, it's, if I had to close my eyes and see where I'm going to be in my 5 years' time, it's more I'm going to see my kids a little bit older.
Yeah.
Hopefully happy. Whereas 5-6 years ago, when you asked me that, I'd be like, I'm building fucking skyscrapers in Leeds.
Yeah, we are
I'm
going.
doing this, I'm fucking doing this, I'm going to do this. Whereas my mind at the minute is kind of tuned them, if you know what I mean. But it's, but that'll...
But that's come from somewhere.
I think that's come from hitting fucking bottom and realising, hang on a minute, fucking hell. That's, I think
I think it's come from before there, because
the kids.
when you think about it, we're talking about your past, where you've come from, your grafting, you've done all that. And I'm no different. I'm exactly the same. You know, weren't exactly the best student. I think I struggled in ways that I didn't really understand. You know what I mean? I remember getting, like, picked on by...
Misunderstood.
Well, yeah, possibly.
It's probably what it was.
I couldn't do my times tables. I remember thinking when people would, like, take the piss out of me, going like, "Oh, what's like 6 times 7?" And I'd be like, "Oh, they're going to laugh at me because I don't know." Rather than trying to solve it in my head, that's what I used to think.
Yeah. If you ask me a question now about everything, something I know, I won't be able to pick it out because my brain just thinks, "Oh, panic, boom," and it goes.
Yeah.
And I'd sit there just like a rabbit. It's but we know what we know, and I'm the same with reading and numbers, and I was shit. And I mean, I kind of taught myself to read.
Yeah.
When I was like 30, I thought, you know, I could read paper.
Yeah.
Sport.
Love that.
Can't go wrong with sport.
Page 3, that's what you're reading.
It's, but no, your general paper and stuff, you'd always get it passed around, and local paper. And
were you ever into football or like that?
yeah. Yeah, I will.
Playing it?
But the guy who I worked for, who I picked, he basically said, "Look, it's football or your job.
Yeah.
It's no good to me injured." So it was like, okay. So I'd like stopped playing, and I'd just become a grafter. And I think the love and the passion for it.
Yeah.
But at the 16 age, when I was starting to learn the tools and understand the tools, Property Ladder were on.
Yeah.
On Channel 4, and it was like, fucking hell, you set your alarm for that.
I want to be in that.
I'm not knocking about on the street drinking cider on a Friday night when Property Ladder's on. It was that was. And that got me to a point where I used to buy the Pont and Cass Express to go into the property section in the middle.
So
just to look at that, just think, oh.
How did you make that switch then? You from kitchen fitting, you went into property.
I had sex. I was shagging, and it got me in trouble.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I was young, 20. And as you do at that age, you're out weekend with your friends, and yeah, I mean, I met a girl. She was lovely. She still is lovely, bless her. She's in my life, and she will be until either of us depart, I suppose. It's she come to me one day and says I'm pregnant, and I'm keeping it. I'd only been with her about 5-6 weeks, something like that, and it was like,
must have been a good lay then.
Hellfire. I mean, we're like rabbits, do you know what I mean? As you do at a young age, but it was like shit. My life had just gone like, what the fuck? What am I going to do? And I ain't got a choice here. I'm going to have a kid because it isn't my choice. And it was like, right.
How old are you? Was that 20?
He's 21, so about 21-ish.
Yeah.
So
you kind of grow up, don't you?
Well, I just picture me sat on a curb, not with a cup of tea though. It was probably a Diet Coke or something then, and just pondering as cars went by, just thinking, fuck, what am I going to do? How am I going to... I mean, at the time I had a car, I probably earned £1,000 a month, maybe if that 800 quid. My car cost me 500-600 quid a month. So like the outgoings, I didn't have anything spare, and I'm thinking, I'm going to need a house, I'm going to need this, what am I going to do? And as a young kid, I don't know, it's like your first major hurdle of life as in, hang on a minute, now I need to grow up, and what am I going to do? And in my wisdom, Pont and Cass, reading property and seeing property, watching Property Ladder, I knew that was me. I thought, I've got to get into property. So I mean, there were no fucking courses out then. Well, none of these property courses get rich in 6 fucking months. So I thought, what can I do? How can I get some of these houses? So I started writing letters. And posting them in my area, walking around streets, posting letters. And one came available over the road from, because that's kind of what inspired me, where where my oldest lad's mum lived, over the house was a house without ceiling had come in, and it were knackered. And I used to see it every day and just look at it. So that was my first letter. Went straight through that one, and
I want that one.
Thought
Fell in love with it.
that's what it is. And anyway, I got a phone call a few months later saying we got a letter through. I'm saying, what's your address? I'm like, fucking hell, it's that one. He says, look, as mum's died, we need to sell the house. You've posted the letter, told us about you. So look, I'm a young dad. I want to get a home in Castleford for me and young. And I think I put on a letter that we're a couple looking.
Did you do it? Drummed it up a little bit.
Lie.
What were it handwritten letter or with computer type?
Hell, I mean, it was like I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a computer back then. I couldn't afford fuck all.
Were it a pen or pencil?
No, probably pencil. I always had a pencil behind my ear. So yeah, they said, look, we'll get it valued and we'll come back to you. So they come back to me a week later and said, look, there's, I think an estate agent called Jump come back, and I think they offered him 70. William H. Brown, I think, was 68-ish, and then somebody said, look, we've had a cash offer at 65. And I said, look, it's going to be mortgage. I said, I'll give you 65. And I said, it's yours. So I'm like, oh, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, I can't. And I walked away, and it was like, Craig, you've got no fucking money. You've got a mortgage, I've got fuck all.
But I've got it.
So again, sat back on curb. What the fuck am I going to do here? Got a kid up waiting, I've just bought an house. So I went home to my mum's, because me and my brother still live with my mum. My brother's a year and a half older than me, so but he's more savvy. He's got a brain as Habig, and now he's in structural steel, does some amazing stuff. But he's always had the bottle with change in it, and it were always full.
Did you ever dip into it?
Fucking hell, he used to smoke it. He used to like tin it up and smoke it, so money would smell of smoke. So if I had any money on me, I'd smell
way!
it. Like
Crafty, man!
Because I used to nick it.
Yeah.
And it's...
We've forever banging it upside down to get quids out of that.
Yeah, to get them to the tops and slide a couple of quid out so I could get me son a bottle of cider or something.
Does he know? He
knows
now.
He knows. It was just a thing. But he always had money. He always worked, and he were a grafter as well, and still is. He's probably one of the people that I've always kind of looked up to in a way where he does graft.
Yeah.
I mean, long hours, and he's a machine. He is, and he's always somebody I'll always look up to. But yeah, I thought I'm going to go home and have a chat with our Mark. So I went home. I said, "Can I have a chat with you?" And I've made an offer on this house. He's right. I said, will you get a mortgage for me? And he's like, what the fuck? And like, I'm telling him about it, and he's right. He says, where are you going to get money to do it? Oh, I said, I'm going to ask my dad. And he says, right, because my dad's never really gave us anything in a way of substantial or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or we just haven't. I think it's through pride. We've never gone to my dad and asked for anything.
Yeah.
And we just haven't. My dad had obviously set up his family and that again. We still saw him. So our Mark said, if you can get that, if you can get the money off my dad to do it up, I'll get the mortgage. I'm right. So I've got in theory the mortgage. He'll pay deposit and pay the mortgage. So he'll cover all that, and on the idea we go 50-50. So I went to my dad, went through numbers, what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it, 12.5 grand. We agreed on a 5% return. So we got it for 65. It took me about a year and a half to do it up. And in the process, I rent the rooms out to my mates for like 50 quid a week. So it was an HMO, direct to vendor HMO.
You turned it into an HMO?
With none of my own money. And then we sold it for 135 grand. So, I mean, made about 50, 53, 55 grand. Split it with
what
my
time?
brother. What time?
Time scale from buying it
About
to
a year and a half.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, in and around my job, weekends.
Yeah.
Getting pissed.
So in that time then, you must have had young one?
Yeah, we'd had the young one, so it was just like flitting between my mums.
What was that like? Where were you born?
Well, she lived over at Road with her mum still. I think we've tried to make it work a few times, so we'd like get a rental and stuff like that, and it was just fudging. It's blurry, to be honest. of what we did, and a bit at my mum's and a bit at their mum's, her mum's, and then, like I said, rental and bits. But she never moved into that house.
What's going through my head right now is it's absolutely bonkers how our journeys are so similar. Because I was a little bit older. I got to 25. Same with football. Obviously, I then met my partner. And I remember saying to Kate, like, look, if it happens, it happens kind of thing, you know. And then at age of 25, he's here. Or he's on the way. So I was 24. I got told he was going to be arriving. And I'm like, whew. I mean, I can't just keep doing this for the rest of my life. And I'm playing football thinking I'm going to be next stuff in, Gaza.
Yeah.
This has got to stop. I need to grow the fuck up, really. And that was my fuel. And I then set up Create back then. And that was 2012 when it originally happened. So March 16th was the first, the founding date of the company being incorporated. And then our Harley were born in May. But that's the reason I started, because of, obviously, I'd been there. And, I mean, I was all right. I bought, my first one was just one of these 2 up, 2 downers.
Yeah.
Nice and easy. But again, it was rented out, so we had nowhere. So I was like, I might need to kick tenant out here.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was right for me because the tenant ended up having a grow on.
Right.
So it got raided by police. And I was like, right, well, he's done it. They said, Kyle, if you're watching this, I forgot.
You got any spare?
Yeah.
Drop it off.
So I remember I had to end up doing that up. He'd done one, obviously. I did it up, and then we did move in. But it's very similar. So you must be now 22, young one's here. What's going on? Did you just think, I'm still kitchen fitting, but I want to do this again, or what?
Fitting. I'd gone on my own by that time because I was fitting. I got to a point where I was good at what I did. It sounds a bit braggy, doesn't it? But I was.
Still employed at this point?
And I loved it. No, I'd left him. Just rewind a little bit to around about when she was pregnant, and I was seeing stars now. I was thinking, I've got to get my fucking self going. So it was like, I know I used to earn a wage of, I don't know, 300 quid a week to do a kitchen. So my gaffer was making a fortune because he was probably getting 1,500, 1,800 quid for this kitchen, and I was doing a good job. And I used to do a kitchen on a weekend, or maybe over 2 weekends, and earn 600-700 quid because I was still doing it cheaper than your average Joe coming in, and I was doing a better job. Because we were doing high-end kitchens, the standard what we were doing to were really good. So it was, I kind of said, look, I can earn more on a weekend than I can in a week. I'm better off just working on my house and just working on a weekend, and I'm no worse off. And anyway, he come back to me, made me a massive offer, pay increase, van, all this. He says, I'm offering you all this. He says, but I know in your head you're not going to take it. It's because you want to do this, you want to get off on your own, and that were it. I set up with a mate doing kitchens, working out of a little Astra van, Thunderbird 1, and it was ace. Yeah. I mean, there were more cash kicking about than ever. Do you know what I mean? It's because back then you could do cash.
What's that?
I mean, inland revenue. It was a long time ago, and I've spent it.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Don't come back now.
Don't come after me.
Yeah. So, wow, self-employed and child and house, and it's not just a house that you're living in; it's actually a flip.
Yeah, we flipped it on. Then we split the profit. Me and my brother, he put us into a steel business, and I bought another house. Started doing that up.
Same scenario, buy to let or flip?
We're on the market. This one. A good deal. I mean, we're kind of a quick one, so I wanted to get into it. I bought that and just did that up, and then that's when kind of midway into that I'd met what was then or what turned out to be my wife, and we did that up and then moved to the family home from that one really, and parked the capital.
Yeah.
Because that were a decent size refurb. That were like the forever home. And then it were only till I hit about 30, then I started, getting itchy feet. I was banging kitchens out and doing stuff. And it were at 30 where I thought, you know what, I want to really get this property thing going because we had equity in house and start doing some flips and stuff again.
So people are going to want to know, because now at this point it's fair to say, like, you've kind of done that. I'm now settled, missus, kids, money's in equity in house and things like that. Everyone has the stumbling block. How do you get money to go into property? So how did you, what was your journey on getting from, I'm now settled, equity in house, kids, missus, that's what I'm doing. How did you get your money back out?
It's an argument to start with, because obviously I had a wife. It's all you married folk out there.
Standard stuff.
But no, I mean,
You've
it
got to
was
convince them so much, haven't you? This is a good thing.
it's like, well, this is my passion. This is what I want to do. And so what it was, I mean, I'd knocked about with a good group of friends. You've met the guy, and he were a footballer, and he said, because I were like, I think it were at the time of where the market had gone and work would, it might have been 2008ish, when everybody market had collapsed and their fucking money had gone, nobody were having new kitchens and work was kind of slow. And he said, what if I bought an house and you did it up for me? And I says, you can fuck off. I says, I'll tell you what, I'll come in with you.
Yeah.
So we'll go 50-50. And Martin Wolford. And that's how that started. And that's when he basically, we found an house, made it into 2 flats, and he said, I've seen this property course I want us to go on. I'm like, I'm not interested in that shit. I know what I know. And you go on it. And he went to this one down south somewhere, and I think it was a pin accelerator.
I think he did pin, didn't he?
Yeah. And he come out of it, and he were like buzzing. He says, oh, this, and this is mine. I ain't a fucking clue what you're on about. I have no clue what you're on about. Get on with it. And he says, you've got to go on it. And I'm like, all right, I'll go on it. And he got me on the other one in Birmingham, I think it was. So we'd done these 2. We both put 35 grand or something like that into this project, turned that round. And then I went on this course, and I can remember ringing him on way back on train. I'm like, fuck me. I just thought you bought an house, you flipped it or you rented it, all these different strategies, all these ways of investor funding and all. I just got sucked fucking in. It was like fucking Hoover come round and bump I was straight in bag. It was like, what the fuck's just going on here?
10 grand down,
but it was like a party in my head. I just thought, this is where we're going. This is what HMOs and trying to understand them, these supposedly cash cows.
Yeah.
But with my skill set, I'm like, I can massively reduce the refurbs, pay myself next to nothing just to get by. And that's kind of where we both started, really. Me and Martin were thick as thieves. And we just tried to take over the world. And that's how the LJ and Keat brand came around. His daughter and my lad, Layla J and Keaton, LJ and Keat. And that's how that was formed. And how that side came together, and we just started smashing HMOs out, networking like hell, borrowing like fuck. Just trying to build a name and a brand.
Well, you did. You were everywhere.
I made it in my town.
Yeah.
I always remember it. Remember on Braveheart where that Irish guy says, "My island" or whatever. And he's, what, yours? Yeah, it's mine. Not like he laughed. Like, yeah, it was my fucking town. But I made it my job to make sure everybody knew everything. Well, not anything. It was just one of them, what other? But to let boards everywhere, banners up on every fucking house. If there were a piece of fence, it had something on it. I just made sure all the vans. I just made sure it was that. And any investor, anybody who were hashtagging Castleford or out like that, I hunted them down. And I wanted to know what they were buying, where they were buying it, who they were. And I got to know everybody in the area.
Yeah.
And if there's a skip outside, I'd pull the van up and I'd go in.
So rock up with Tim Biscuits.
Wait, no, I didn't then. I was skint. I've gone into my overdraft to buy them bastards. But no, I just made it my job to, I mean, sometimes you'd get people say, oh, fuck off, get out. I mean, you know what to do with you. But if they're in the game and they're sort of networking, it kind of becomes open.
Yeah.
But I've met some good connections through that, and that's how I kind of built the lettings business up. So introduced, and this is what we do, and it just evolved into something that, yeah, it was hard work, as you know, building a business and everybody sees this thing pop up, but week to week you're chasing refinancing.
It's a lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it makes me smile. If I didn't hate rentals so much and HMOs, I could get back into it and make a killing. But I won't say I've done it. I've no end. I want to do flips. I definitely want to do flips, but I don't think I want to touch rentals in a way. Sourcing.
Why?
I don't know, because I've been in running a lettings business. I can always remember me and Martin sitting outside an house. Basically, an HMO had emptied because somebody were dealing drugs from it. And me and Martin were outside. I had a couple of cars, my brother and somebody else sat in a car further down just in case it really did kick off and more people come. And just getting to a point where you're having standoffs with drug dealers, arguing with folk, chasing brass. I've had mates that I've let into rooms and they've never paid. And it just become an absolute head fuck constant where everything just used to drop on my lap. And it's probably one of them where people are probably watching and think, well, you should leverage that out. But in rentals, and this probably might get cut out again, but you've got to be kind. You've got to have a good cop and a bad cop. So the management team we had in place, well, the good cops, I'd go and tell them, you pay me fucking Friday or you're out. I'm going to come and load your shit up in my van and give me a ring and then we'll sort it out. You need that kind of brutal thing. I know it's illegal.
Didn't you have the in the back of the van?
Yeah. Oh, you could always see it on videos. I went to do a kid hadn't paid for weeks. I mean, fucking weeks. And I'd gone into this house, praying on this door. I said to the landlord, look, we can do it two ways. We can go all legal and stuff like that, or do you want me to go and have a word? He's like, what do you mean? I'll go and have a word.
Say no more.
I'll go and have a word. And I'm no fighter. I mean, I've had, obviously, I'm not frightened of a crack on nose. But I rocked up at this house, braying on this fucking, I could hear them inside, there were loads of them. And I brayed on this fucking door and I started putting key in. I could hear them panicking around. As the door opened, it's like out of a movie where it's just full of smoke. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And because I'm quite tall, and these were like scroats, like smackheads and shit, and I'm like looming over them through this smoke, they kind of shit themselves. I'm like, right. What the fuck, where's, I can't remember his name, we'll call him Steve. So where the fuck's Steve? Oh, he's not in. So who the fuck are y'all lot? So we live here. I says, you fucking don't, get yourself fuck off. And so I waited for this kid to come back, and he come back getting it all this fucking shit and that. But I'd gone in room, there were fucking knives and everything. And I'm like thinking, this could have gone a different way. They could have run at me through that fucking... It wasn't quite as smoky as probably what I'm making it out, but you couldn't see stuff. The windows were shut and they were just smoking weed and whatever it is that they were on. And it kind of hit me thinking, that could have turned. I've got fucking kids. You know what I mean? I could have been laid on a landing with a knife in me. So that's when I went home and cut a mop stick handrail.
Yeah, I remember that.
Down to about 2 foot and carved it so it had my hand. And that was my beating stick. So I used to tap that on doors when it were... yeah, but we've had it a few. I've had it where I've emptied building site, loaded all vans up, gone to HMOs before with drugs, where a tenant's phone still up, there's so-and-so in room, and they're all laid out off the tits. And again, it's you can vet them, but you don't know what they get on with in their personal life.
Yeah, I mean...
They can look good on paper, and you get them.
That's one thing that's sort of like rocks us up. So there's nothing worse than knocking on a door to find there's a dead body.
Oh, I ain't had one of them.
And you think, like, it's quite easy for, you know, your keyboard, Facebook warriors, whatever it may well be, to give it, and they'll all tell you advice at first, this is what you should do. Like I say, offload it and whatnot. We started our agency purely because we hired an agency initially to look after all our portfolio, but they actually said to us, you do understand it's on your shoulders? I'm like, oh yeah, of course it is. You're a landlord. The book does stop with us. So although we're dealing with it, it's on you. Like, so we're not going to put ourselves in harm for you. And you're like, fair enough then. You know, so you do. You end up going, well, I'll hit a critical mass where we can actually self-manage and you start doing it. But it isn't as rosy as what everybody would like to think it is. No. You know, there's an absolute dark side.
There's a lot of work involved.
Well, you got to think about this. It's like, I don't want to say poverty, but there is a lot of People are struggling right now.
People always seem to, come up with excuses. Oh, it's my kid's birthday, I can't pay rent.
Yeah.
And all that bollocks. It's, they say there is poverty, and I understand that. I mean, now for me to get into a rented house and pay the bills and as a single parent, I don't know. People will struggle. I mean, yeah. But some of the bollocks that they come up with, some of them, when you go in their house and they've got a 16-inch TV, they've got an Xbox and a PlayStation.
Sky.
They've got everything.
All Wi-Fi package, the full works, yeah.
So it's
Amazon parcels kicking about.
fucking, I don't think they were Just Eat back then. A few years ago. It's like a new thing, innit?
But they've all got proper Nike Air Max on, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's all through catalogue, innit? 25 pence a week. But
Love
it's,
that. You remember that Eminem catalogue? That were belter.
That's how I started getting my stuff when I was like, we're going back to us youth now. But it's like, Mum said, just get one out of catalogue, get what you can.
Yeah.
And because I used to get pocket money off my grandparents, and that'd pay it down. Yeah, God, that's just took me right back as that.
Proper man.
When's my trainers coming, Mum? Yeah. When's my trainers coming? It's
Do you ever have one of them blokes who turn up in back at van, like a little bipper, rock up and say, right, oh, everything's cash, but you got to buy it here and now.
Oh, never
We're all
done that.
snide stuff, DVDs. We used to work in, because obviously we're in a shop fitter, we'd have a yard.
Yeah.
So at machine yard, we'd knock everything up and then we'd go out and fit it. But he'd turn up to the yard, we all snide stuff, it'd be trainers, CDs, you name it, everything.
I've always had mattresses. I've always had mattresses. I've had a few, and I've actually bought a few. Obviously, gypsies I don't know, they've probably done a wagon of her somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's, but in our area, it must just be mattresses.
50 quid a mattress in new bag.
Mattresses and the odd TV. Don't buy TVs because it's just a box of fucking bricks.
So true as well. You get giddy on and think, what have I bought
fucking
here?
I've just bought this. It's,
Don't do that again. No, I mean, look, there is a lot of excuses in rental game, but we see it as like, it's better to control it, because the people who are genuinely struggling with poverty, I want to help them, and we'll help them in different ways. But it is a full-time job. And
if you remember in COVID, I had a sit down with girls, and we basically did a list who we knew out of 200-300 tenants of who's going to come up with this excuse where they can't.
Yeah.
And we knew who it was. We were going to come straight away and use that government thing where you have an holiday and all that lot. We knew which ones were going to be, and majority of the time everybody did. But it's just the same ones that rinse and repeat the system and don't pay and rip off landlords. And again, it's like a bad builder gives all builders a bad name. A bad tenant gives all tenants a bad. There's some amazing people that don't want to buy, will always rent, and some people that can't afford, but they're very respectful and they're nice people. They do look after the house. You just get the few, don't they?
yeah,
And everybody
exactly.
goes through hard times. I've always been one of them where it's like, come and talk to me. Even with lads on site, anybody, look, if you're struggling, come and talk to me. If you need 20 quid, we'll sort it. But if somebody comes to, look, I'm really struggling, I've just lost my job, car's fucking broke down, washing machine's gone, fucking bike's been nicked. You know, when everything happens, it happens at once, doesn't it?
It's like, mate.
Nobody's just talk to us. Just do what you can this month. And they pull it back. And I think it's, we've all done it, I've done it. You bury your head in sand sometimes and you ignore the phone and it gets fucking worse and worse, and then you're just an emotional fucking wreck and you're fucked.
So let's go there. Right.
We have to.
So there's a reality of when people are genuinely going through it. So we've had a very similar kind of upbringing, very similar kind of previous in terms of grafting, working, things like that, right? And you're motivated by like the shiny penny, aren't you? Like, yeah, I want that. And it's like anything that gets in your way, you're going to break through those kind of barriers. And you absolutely smash it regardless. But you've had an absolute shit show of a time, right? I've had a shit show of a time. I don't want to kind of like reflect on, like, say, the bad tenants, and they're going through shit times, but they don't compare, do they? So when you're going on your highest, and LJ and Keith were absolutely at its highest and things like that, you then, at the same time as me, started developing. And we went to the New Build game, didn't we?
An itch that needed scratching.
So
We've
Let's go
rinsed
there.
and repeated HMOs,
Yeah.
with flips, with building portfolios, sourcing for basically the full turnkey, finding properties for folk, refurbing, managing them, building his own portfolios. I've built industrial units. commercial to resis.
It's fair to say there's nothing much
It
on a
was
building
just
site that we
that
haven't seen.
itch that needed to be done. And at the same time, we both thought, oh, we'll buy some land, we'll start building some fucking houses. And I can remember my solicitor saying to me, Craig, this is a big project, this. I mean, I was looking everywhere for single plots, pair of plots. I was trying to pull deals in on land. Couldn't fucking get anything to pin down. And my agent phoned me up, local agents, because I, again, like these, I used to take them cakes and buns and keep them sweet. All your local estate agents and stuff. As I used to say, go around and look after them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I did it all the time. I didn't go in once a month. I didn't go in.
Constant.
They knew me in and out. I'd go for a drink with them on a Friday, or basically everybody knew me in my area. I had to make sure. That's going back to what we're on about. So the manager at the time says, this site's come back up in Castleford. A firm in Wetherby has pulled out. I think they'd agreed 350 grand. I said, I ain't got 350 grand. I said, I could probably do 300. It's subject to planning. I did have 300. Yeah, fuck all, as usual. So anyway, we agreed this, and I went to the solicitor, and she says, Craig, says, it's a big project, this. I mean, we'd done plans and stuff, and I tried to squeeze it up. There was a big house in the middle, and I wanted to build either side.
Yeah.
But because just further down from it was a railway crossing. So the council say you're going to have multiple entrances coming onto a road of a level crossing, which we won't allow for highways and all or whatever it was. So basically, we all come up with a scheme of 10 with an adoptable highway. So my solicitor's like, Craig, do you understand adoptable highways? Says a lot of the big builders don't veer onto that. I'm like, it can't be that fucking bad. It's one house times 10 with a road.
Makes sense, right?
Do you know what I mean? But we priced everything up and what it was, and the numbers worked. There was good profit in it. I mean, the idea of that bastard site was the last plot 10 bungalow was for my mum.
Yeah.
I'll leave the profit in it. I can move my mum in it. She's not very good on her feet. It'd be ideal. Do you know what I mean? That's my legacy. I can put her in it because I've never done it for lumps of cash and think, right, I'm off first class to Dubai now. I'm going to buy myself a fancy fucking Rolex watch and I'm going to look an absolute twat on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? They're still there.
Yeah, they're still there.
They are still there.
We should shout them out, shouldn't we? But no.
That's a different podcast altogether, but I'm fucking game for it. Yeah, all the smoke and mirrors shit. I've always kept, or did keep the money what I've made in it. Paid myself a good wage. We had a good lifestyle. In a way, we had a couple of holidays a year. The wife had a nice car, and yeah, we did what we wanted. So that was the plan, and I thought the numbers work. Everything's all right. Talked my solicitor around. She said, "Look, I've warned you. I've just got a bad feeling about it," and I decided to go for it. Pulled investors in to buy it. Put some money in myself, and then went for development finance. So I don't know.
So did you put money in, with investor money in for the acquisition?
to
300 grand?
purchase it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's technically then unencumbered.
I ended
but
up getting it. I think it was 280.
Decent.
I ended up getting it. So it were a third of an acre, with a detached house on it. Yeah, for 10 hours. I think the profit, it wasn't massive. There were a couple of early investors that came in but then left because it just seemed a bit tight.
Yeah.
And they're
What sort of percentage margin were you looking at?
we were over
profit-wise?
20%. We had to be, I think, for development finance.
Yeah, they like to be 25 to 30.
Yeah,
don't they,
it
really?
was something like that. But it was just too tight for them, so I swapped them out with somebody else. Yeah, and it was fucking hell.
What were you feeling at that time?
I felt cocky, untouchable. Do you know what I mean? Where I've done a lot of property, a lot of stuff, and I felt everything was. I was good at the game. I was good at building. I was good at, but this, I was so fucking out of my depth when I opened page 1 to start going. It was like,
When were page 1?
well, site mobilisation, get rid of the house, and start grouting.
We're not going there yet. So wait there. So you've negotiated the land. You've got that.
Yeah.
You've got investors in. Some have gone. Some have come. GDV's around about 20, 25% or whatever. You've got development finance, they're happy. Everyone's good to go. At this point, who did you QS in? Did you do it? Did you get a company in?
I had a small team of what we had, like the architect. I brought him on like a payroll where he oversees stuff.
Yep.
And we had...
So you're a principal designer?
Yeah, and like we did everything within. I'm always been quite good at pricing stuff up and within the houses.
Yeah.
Builders, merchants, I give them the plans and I cross-referenced. There were a lot of build-up shit. I spent a lot of time on it. And then the ground workers come in with their breakdowns and I'd then look at that, research.
There's a lot of detail, isn't there?
The idea of this was I wanted to learn a lot. And from the outset...
To be fair, though, you did say that was the case.
Yeah, even if I make a slight loss on it...
Yeah. We'll get there.
I'd be happy because it's university.
Yeah.
And I'm still grateful to this day for it. So let me get some sugar in me.
So we're about to go into this. So we've done all the due diligence. And just to be clear, I heard a lot of people, and a lot of people still ask me today, pack it in. If you genuinely believe you can price a new build development off a price per square foot, you are absolutely fucking balmy. There is far too much detail that goes into it.
Yeah.
And you still get it today. People get giddy because they're like, oh, I need to do it quick to buy it. It's like, at what point do you think this speed is going to be a success at the back end? There is a lot going into it. So internally, I know for a fact you must have spent hours, days pricing it up. Look at you gearing up for this. I can feel it.
I'm just washing that sugar down.
So
we've run out of tea.
I should buzz them up, shouldn't I? The quoting up, the pricing up is very detailed, but again, you only know what you know, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you over-exaggerate stuff and you do look at it and think, right, we're ready, I've contingencies in place, I've got this, I've got that.
So feeling confident is understandable.
Confident, nervous, my balls are going in, but I felt as though everything around, I had the businesses, I had everything to a point where I could weather a problem.
Did you have a mentor?
Did I have a mentor then? I had a guy, can't remember his fucking name now. I used to run through stuff. I paid him like 400 quid for an hour, and I'd sit and I'd go over stuff and analyse stuff. And I'm working on quite a few bigger deals then. And so I'd run stuff by him and his view, and this one became like probably better the one of what there were. But no, I've always been a bit of a tight bastard.
We are tight Yorkshire blokes.
I mean, the mentors are good. I think for anybody,
good
accountability buddy.
Yeah.
I think you can pay thousands for these, and I think really what you need is a good accountability buddy who's been there, tasted it, and will just be straight with you.
That is worth its weight in gold, isn't it?
Craig, are you sure? I mean, I could sit down with somebody now and say, look, what if that happens?
Yeah.
And back then I'd say, well, that's not gonna, is it?
What's worse that's going to
happen?
happen?
Put some music on this night. Dun, dun, dun.
Because guess what?
Because everything did fucking happen.
But so you had a bit of a go-to, but not too much.
I had people around me in a way, family, friends, who's done stuff, and I get them to check and just sound stuff. But end of the day, you can analyse and go over your numbers too fucking much to a point where eventually they will put you off.
Can you remember the text message that you sent me just before we were starting?
No.
I shouldn't get it up on the screen, should I? So we back then, we're talking at a time where we were smashing out HMOs for fun. You know, we became experts. Like, you can't throw an expert name around.
We knew what we were doing. We knew how to put a deal on the table.
Yeah.
Put it in front of investors, source it, refurb it, manage it.
We'd nailed
full
the turnkey.
turnkey.
Yeah.
Even the dressing and
yeah, they all works,
and all that.
The full shebang.
The job block.
We became really good in our respectful
areas. We
areas.
forget actually what we did.
It was quite impressive, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Really impressive.
Looking back
really
on
slick.
it, it's the finely tuned machine which worked and made some investors very.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Very,
Where are them investors? Where are these investors now?
Well, a couple. I mean, I still talk to a couple. become good friends. One messaged me actually on it the other day asking if I can sort something out for him on one of his. And I'll jump through hoops for that guy because he's an absolute legend. There's
some
never give me
diamonds.
any bother. I'd pass him a deal. I mean, even one of them, I think it was 1 month. I was sourcing these deals to him, and I'm going through numbers now. I think as an HMO full turnkey, it was £10,000.
Yeah.
For me to find it and manage the process right the way through, we used to charge 10,000. And I got these buildings all direct to vendor and fucking cracking prices. And I got him one in Normanton, a shop, a flat, and it's going to be a 6-bed HMO. And I think I got that for 90 grand. And it was fucking direct to vendor, bonds in fucking building.
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, 10 grand all day, I'll fucking have that. And then I got another from a jeweller in Cass, a pair of terrace. And I was going to make one a 6-bedroom HMO, and I was going to make the other side into flats. But I've said, look, you can have that side, I'm having this side. And I got him a couple of other buy-to-lets at the same time. I'd had a really good month with sourcing side. And he said, well, so he will buy Normie one, that one, and a few others. And he said, well, what about, can I have the other side of it? So I'll give you another 10 grand. So I had 10 grand from the Normie one, 10 grand for the one next door to it, 10 grand for that one, and then the sourcing fees. And I was like, fucking hell. But he was like, I detail everything, floor plans,
Yeah.
a spec sheet, what's going in, how many sockets,
proper
what sockets
intricate,
there
yeah.
Because a lot of people now, investors don't say, oh, can you build me that? So, well, how many sockets, how many of this? And it's like, well, we're going over budget. So, well, I ain't got a spec. I mean, what do you want me to fucking work off? There's no plans,
guess.
nothing.
One
And that's-
socket, yeah?
It's detail. It's fucking detail. But this guy, once it were in, I'd go over budget.
Yeah.
He'd never fucking know about it because this guy
Just
was
swallow
buying. I mean, if I go in and floors were rotten or would miss something on survey because it happens.
Yeah, of course it
you
does, yeah.
can see it. I'd just reply. Lads are on site anyway.
Do it.
Send van up, get a load of timbers, get it in. Might cost me 800 quid and try and swing it back on later on. So he loved it because they were coming in on budget, coming in on time, occasionally on time, depending what were happening. But it's he was fucking golden, left us own it. I've got a lot of time for that guy. He's done really well for himself, again, through property and his own personal stuff. But I've met some good people, even from the investors and stuff. It's
Well, back then, like I say, it was an absolute... I don't want to call it a gravy train because that weren't what it was, but...
apparently the train's still running.
Yeah.
From what I see on social media, the HMOs and stuff, I just sit there sometimes with my cup of tea, slurping it on and eat, thinking, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Not do that. But we definitely... I remember at the time, and you...
What's this text?
I think... So I think we'd been to... I think we might have gone to Barnsley to a networking do, I think. I can't remember. And we ended up chatting about, we just bought this land. And I'd bought 2 plots separately. And you'd bought the one. But between them, you were doing 10 and I was doing 10. I remember at the time, I think I said I'm going to do staged baby steps. I'll do one first, get out at ground, and then I'm up and laughing. And then jump on. And you said to me, I'll see you at finish line. And I remember at the time thinking to me, son, this is mint. Not knowing what we were about to find out. I mean, I've never spoke about my first one in terms of like, we put a shovel in the ground, and when you're getting all the bloody soil surveys, and then you're looking at gas and things like that, and you're thinking, what is going on? And you had to put your gas membranes in.
Yeah, the radon.
Radon barriers and all that lot. And you're like, well, I didn't plan on putting that in. But I think my additional costs were nowhere near. They come out of contingency, basically, but yours are a different kettle of fish. So it's fair to say we were both confident. I don't want to say cocky, arrogant, egotistical, but like, it's proof in the pudding is that you can plan all day, but you're going to get an unforeseen. So you've done all that. You got your finance. Day one.
So the site and Castleford is majority of it is on a coal seam.
Yeah.
It's called the Wheatworth seam. It should be renamed.
You don't know, the fact you've just said coal now has just put everyone off.
Yeah, Castleford and surrounding. There's a lot of places with coal. I think is it Birmingham or that way down? That's heavily cold, or is it Nottingham? Might be Nottingham. With miners strikes or whatever it was back then.
We've got a lot of coal around here.
Yeah, it's so the week we've seen runs through gas. So we'd had the surveys. You can always test it and drill it and get an idea and build it up. But with coal, it's fractured anyway. That's just what it is.
Pointless.
And it's so it were like we were going to drill and fill on a as we went. They did a grid reference, so we'd all pinned it out, got it all priced. The council, because it were an adoptable highway, fought back and they wanted more drilling. They wanted go from 4 metres grid reference, I think, down to a 2 metres grid reference, and we even peppered the road they wanted it peppering, basically the adoptable highway. So it were like, fucking hell, well, that's bumping it up.
That's double.
And then so I think we'd envisaged from the offset of 110 tonnes, something like that, of 150 holes. So minimal take is what they thought. Railway line runs through the site, round the site with a railway. Basically a triangular shape. I'll try and send you a picture of it so it can maybe flash up on this. So it were like to a wedge. So I'm thinking, well, there's a railway line and it's going to be stable if there's anything. There's no mining or... So the first two so the site next to it had just built 5 houses and he had it grouted and he only put in 40 tonne. So all the numbers and everything worked. There were a new care home to the side that had been built. So everything looked, in a way, from an outside engineer's point of what's going on, it should be all right.
Good calculator.
So I think I think the quote was 48 grand, something like that, to drill it and grout it.
Is that based on the 2 by 2 metre grid?
That's roughly where we got it to. So it's like, it might have been slightly more, 50, 52, I don't know, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
got it in figures, happy days.
Yeah, started drilling it, stripped the site, cleared it all. We'll come back to that with the ground worker. The first two holes in the corner next to the site that had just been built, we put 80 tonne down first two. Within the first 3 days or whatever it is, I'd
blown budget.
sat there thinking, what the fuck? And that was kind of my first inkling of I'm out of my fucking depth here. Because there's nothing, being a tradesman in a house, if that roof comes in overnight, we've had a storm, we can turn up and think, bastard. Right, get some scaffolding up, let's get a new one on. I just couldn't do anything about it. There's an hole, it's like my cup, 4-inch hole. And they just put an hose in it. And this one went down, I think it was 14 metres, took coal seam. And it would just chug, this big mixer just pumping tonne after tonne down this hole. And if you think, it's just like, what's it doing under there?
I remember seeing the Instagram post.
And it was just demoralising. I think end of first week, I'd gone on with a crate of lager. And just thought, right, let's go. That's next week. And I think they ended up 2 weeks. It ended up being 6 weeks, I think, of drilling and grouting. We ended up putting in 520 tonne.
Talk me through your emotions from like day one. I remember that first hole going in, and there was a bit of laughing and giggling on the initial, like, fucking hell, we're going down here. It's pouring, it's teching it.
Yeah.
It's like a bottomless pit. So you must have thought, obviously the confidence was there, but like, this is it, it's fine, it can't be that bad.
I mean, it's a kick straight away, thinking, right, this is what building's about. You're going to get problems, and we're starting. Yeah. So suck it up, and off you go into it week after, and
But end of week, how did you feel?
Deflated. Just deflated. Just thought, fucking, I thought it'd start better than this.
So, be honest, because you'd done 5 days of this shit. You was Instagramming this. This was live, and we were seeing it. We were feeling it. I was feeling it, and all we want to do is, how can we help? I'm going for my own shit.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there going like, there's not much I can do.
As a spectator, you've just got it. You've strapped in. You're on the roller coaster, and
you're watching it. Yeah.
And we go. But
so it was there a point at that 5 day mark where you knew your progress, you knew the money were flowing. What?
After the first week, I didn't know how bad it were going to be, because I'm still kind of within the budget of the 50 grand, say.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not going well.
It'll get better.
So it's like, but how much is it a ton after? And I've got to make calls. Look, how much is it going to be a ton? And they're saying, look, let's just see how it goes because we can change the mix. We can add gravel. We can do this. We can do perimeter bulking. We can do all this. So everything's right, but you kind of hoping you just put a tube down and it fills up and off you go. But it's not there for 4 days filling one hole.
So in your mindset, that week one, you're not quitting, you're not out, you're not
quitting.
down.
You're just
like
a little bit deflated, thinking, "Fucking, I hope this start." Because you do worry about it, and you can research it and look into it. But it were a worry. It were a scary start. I've just done it again recently, haven't I? We'll probably come back to that if we've got time.
Loads of it.
So yeah, I think it had gone on for a few weeks, but at the same time, I'd appointed a ground worker who'd come in to strip the site and move stuff, which he started taking it upon himself to start doing more than what he were assigned to do and causing problems and moving soil in the way of the drillers, and the drillers couldn't move, and he'd say, "Oh, don't worry about it," and doing stuff out of sequence. Got to a point where I had to ask him to leave, which become very nasty and shit. But it's we'll park him, we'll not bring him into it, to be fair, but contractors and stuff, again, you've got to be careful on the bigger stuff that they do what they say when they're going to do it. And the word I got, what chucked at me quite a lot, Craig, this is how we do it on bigger projects. Like, I've not come from Greg's. Do you know what I mean? I know how to run a job and a process and a schedule and what should be done and when, whether it's a fucking brick on an house or a socket in a... Do you know what I mean? I'm not fucking daft.
Yeah.
So...
Were you contractually all T's and C's done at this point?
Yes.
And he still thought it was acceptable to treat you that way?
We've had legal battles. We've had... physical threats, family.
You see, this is what I don't get right. Like, I'll quite often speak to a lawyer about this. Just to provide a bit of context for listeners, generally, not always, tradespeople are the people who didn't do very well at school, right? And we come into the building industry. So out of all the sectors that are physically possible to leave school and go and work, be it a teacher, sport, site, no matter what it may well be, the construction industry is the most cutthroat, brutal. It's lethal. What people want to do is, if they want to roll the sleeve, they'd rather roll the sleeve up and punch you than stick to the terms and conditions agreement. I've known that full well. And you end up getting called a pig to a dog, but because you go, hang on a minute, we had a gentleman's agreement, we shook hands, that's how you do this. We're not donkeys, we know what we're doing, but yet you think it's acceptable to throw your weight around or call a gypsy and get a gypsy to sell the debt. And it does happen, doesn't it? It's the most brutal on a building site.
Yeah, it's very personal.
Yeah.
It is very personal, and it's again, I learned so much from that process. But he will putting bills in way over. I mean, £888 for a pack of blocks to build a retaining wall. I'm like, they're £88. He's like, this is how it is on big jobs. I'm like, I ain't paying 40 odd grand. No. For whatever it, and it would just anyway. That went and
Right, we'll park him.
We'll pack that. But anyway, I ended up pointing another ground worker, and he's been absolutely amazing. Really carried me through the adoptable highway and stuff. He was one of... I probably should have gone with him from day one, because he was there and thereabouts. But again...
What made you pick one over other?
I don't know, if I'm honest. I honestly don't know. I have thought about that quite a bit when it were all like, why? But it's like, I don't know. Like
would it money? Would it
like
reputation?
In it, sometimes you look back and think, how the fucking hell did I get into that?
We all do that.
It's,
oh God, yeah.
I'm in that world now, fucking Singleton. But yeah, I think so. The grouting had gone and it gone way over. We ended, like I said, 500 and odd. So I think the final bill came to about 80 grand, which kind of doubled.
Yeah.
But it wiped a 50 grand contingency.
Yeah.
Which I had to start getting the foundations in to get my first drawdown.
And you're not even out at ground, are you?
I'm not even out at ground. So I were behind. I say behind. I deferred part of their payment.
Yeah.
To try and get the foundations in to get me drawdown in. You start smudging from day one, basically.
Yeah.
Robbing Peter to pay fucking Paul.
So for those that might not know this, then let's just explain that a little bit better. So what you were doing there is you had your budget for it, so you drawing down from bank, facility were paying them, but obviously
I had to put the first lumps in. Basically my first drawdown were at foundation level for the first 5.
yeah,
Everything else I had to cover up to that point. So I'd allocated money to get it to that, but the first initial grouting had wiped my starting pot in a way.
So were you then? Is it fair to say then you were? And this happens. We see it all the time. Would it fair to say that you had to cash flow it, effective immediate, but then you ran out of liquidity, so you had to just grab from forward and pull it backwards.
Yeah.
So that was then. Where's your head at now? Because that's happened and you've had to do that. You're going. What's actually going through your head? Were you still travelling forward?
Yeah, I still had to be. I still had other projects running, still HMO refurbs and stuff like that. So the business were turning round. I was getting a wage in a way, so I wasn't really taking anything from the site. So I just had to be a bit more cleverer with what I'm buying, how I'm buying it, terms and time scales of when I buy it to when it needs paying to get me drawdown. So I think you just kind of look at things a little bit different and try and slow things down a little bit just to try and smudge. And I don't know, because you can't go to lender from day one and say, hang on a minute, we're fucked already.
No, but you're not the way yet, let's be real.
Well, no, I mean, it was just, from everybody says that this happens. But it's, again, when I got to digging, so I dug the first 5 out, so I got the lads while they were digging, just to get them poured concrete, get the other ones dug. Yeah. And in plots 7 and 8, I found 2 wells.
Yeah. So what's the time from the start 0, right? From 0, what's the point where you've done your grout and you're over budget, you're already, robbing Pete to pay Paul, now you've hit the wells. What's that time frame?
That's all probably within the first 5 weeks.
So first 5 weeks, so you're month 2. Weeks. What's your mental health like? Did you know?
I don't think anybody knows when you start slipping. I don't think you know. I think you're just stressed. Fucking hellfire. Shit day. Fuck. It's on your mind. You sat there watching EastEnders and you're not taking any fucking thing in. Normally you're like, fucking this show's doing my fucking tits in. I mean, why am I even sat watching this Coronation Street, all this bollocks?
It's because you're last one.
But you're just there. You're there, but you're not there. And it's just the stress. And to be fair, I'll probably sit on computer, laptop, smudging stuff about what's coming up, what's coming in. What can I do? Can I bring lads in from that project? Can we start that project earlier? Is that going to get refinanced? You just start looking at
plethora, everything.
You're like thinking, right, what are we going to do? Because at this point, when I found the wells, COVID had just started to kick in. I don't know if we were on second lockdown, first lockdown. First lockdown, we had the plaster, didn't we?
Yeah.
We couldn't get plaster.
Everyone were going.
And I were on refurbs, and I had fucking pallets of it already bought, and everybody in the area fucking hated me because in warehouse it just said Craig, LJ and Keith, and everybody's like, how come that twat's got all them pallets and we can only get 10? But again, the merchants looked after me because of us buying. So then COVID were hitting in, so I think it was the second one. I needed an engineer to redesign me how we're going to get over these wells.
That's more cost.
More cost, obviously. The lenders have seen them, building control, warranties have seen them because they've got to check. I can't I'm just put a bit of clay over it. You can't fucking do it.
No.
Because I remember feeling, they shouted me over, groundworker Chris, he says, come and have a look at this, see what you think. And I walked around and I'm like, what do I think? What the fuck is it? Like brick.
Yeah.
Brick tunnels.
You've seen it, aren't you? Art just goes, doesn't it?
I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, that's a well, that. I'm like, okay. Just walked off and put fucking kettle on. And so I had to then ring engineers, architects, sit down and say, right, what do we need to do? Basically, to come up with, we need to bridge it. So basically, the steel reinforced mesh, the make sections, and then so we had to expose the foundations and bridge, because the one just in the middle, they're in the corners, perfectly fucking in the corner. Well, about a foot in. So you have to extend and everything. But because COVID had just come in, the steel, because of the first lockdown,
everything went
and
up.
The time scales of the second lockdown, it kind of the second one shut everything down, I think, didn't it? And then so production and trying to get the engineer, it took him about a month to spec it. to come up with it, because obviously he's not going to jump straight on it. He's busy, and he don't know me nothing. So in that time, we've dug them down. It's raining, filling up, sides are caving in. We've got to keep taking them deeper, and they're getting wider and stuff.
More concrete.
Then we get the engine. Luckily, my brother's in steel, so he could order the steel. I got that at cost, but it had still fucking doubled in weeks.
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head of what the actual materials were, but building control said, look, let's just pour it with concrete and cap it before it gets any fucking worse, because we're going to end up in lava.
Oh.
We're going that fucking deep.
Yeah.
So we capped them, and then it is what it is. I could leave them. But I think it took 3 months for us to get everything in place, the steels, so it were made up, the rebar, the sections and stuff, for them to be then poured. And it ended up costing about 40 grand.
Over
the original, 5 grand we'd had in for standard strip foundation.
fucking corner of an house.
So I'm like,
that thought it's come from
I'm
nowhere?
sat here, again, robbed it from Peter to do what I can. I've on my drawdowns, I've paid it. Because I can't leave it, because I'm just going to end up filling everything with concrete, because it's just kept caving in. So that were in space of within space of a few months, I'd pretty much started wiping out the profit from it, was starting to go. I'd not even started to look into build up of the highways, the adoptable highways, which again in that time of ordering the concrete, the tubing, the drains for underneath, the retainers, I think there were 4 of them, and the linking 700 concrete pipes. Price of them had gone up in that time.
What are you thinking at this point?
Like, what the fuck? It would just, I don't know.
What were your behaviours? Had you done anything different? Looking back now, what you were doing, were you going to the gym or out like that?
No, I've always I've always enjoyed going for a jog and that, and going and stuff.
I remember you doing that. Yeah.
I kind of immersed myself in this, and I didn't. I were eating shit. I just got to a point where I started slipping because my health had gone. I were eating shit. I were running around 100 mile an hour I had refurbs going. I had the lettings business. I were opening a cafe. I had everything going on, and I was just running around and I were eating shit. Wasn't looking after myself. And you're just constantly finding ways to solve today's problem. We started building the first 5. They were going up back in my ball court. Do you know what I mean? We're doing all right.
Yeah.
They're going up, and I'm thinking, right, I've just got to focus now, pull in what I can, keep costs as low as I can, manage best I can, and just try and get the first 5 up and built. But it was just fucking materials. Luckily I bought all the bricks for the site and all the slate, all the roof tiles before, so they were bulked.
That were big costs.
So it were like it were all there. So it would just.
What were the relationships around you like with people, family, friends? Had they noticed that something was different?
Fucking ex-wife probably needs to be sat in on to answer that. I can imagine she's probably thinking, what the fuck? I've never really had a conversation with her, to be honest with you.
Why?
I don't know. We get on. We get on golden. But I probably it's an itch I need to scratch, and probably have that conversation with her of just how she thought and what she thought. I can always remember being on my case, like, fucking, we've got bills to pay, make sure you fucking, do you know what I mean? It's we were a partnership, but we want, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's
was she feeling it as well?
Of course she was.
How was she feeling it?
I'm sure she was fucking shitting us in, but she didn't have a clue. I didn't really go into detail with her. It's, as you do, you're a protector. Everything will be fine. We just fucking got to get through this. I come home like, oh, this has gone wrong, that's gone wrong, and she'd probably always say like, "Are we going to be all right? Is everything all right?" And yeah, of course it is. I'll fucking sort it. I'll sort it. Well, you best fucking sort it. Do you know what I mean? Cut down on your tea bags, you'll be all right. But no, I think.
Were you lying to her?
Of course I fucking will. Yeah.
Were you lying to yourself?
Yes. I were.
But when you look back though, Craig, is that was it lying to yourself?
I will
Because we
No,
come
I mean,
from
what-
grafters, don't we, mate?
I knew the job in hand was going to be hard work, and
Yeah.
I knew that. The problem I'd got is how do I keep having these hits? How can I sustain it? How can I keep moving forward? Because it's not £1,000. It's not 500 fucking quid like a refurb. If that joist or whatever it is fucked, cut it out. It's going to cost you a few £100. Everything I was dealing with were 30, 40 grand. Just silly fucking stuff. And I can even remember going into Builders Merchants and I'd gone in and you could see the faces and I'd gone in to order some fucking Kingspan or whatever and it'd gone up 100% overnight. And people will always say, well, didn't you have all these prices booked in? All that kind of went out of fucking window with merchants because nobody could sustain it. So look, that's the price now. You buy it.
Yeah.
And it was like,
There's no what you could do with that. I remember.
have a minute.
Have a minute.
The first time I got in van and cried my eyes out after that. Because I got... I think the first feeling of, fuck, I'm fucked. Because I had to find another 10 grand. And you're like, fuck, I've already got that to pay, I've got that to pay, I've got that to pay. And I got in the van and I went for a ride. Just think, right, I just need to clear my fucking head and get my head round it now. Because as soon as I get to where I need to be, I'm back immersed in this fucking beast. And it was that's where the impact of COVID were really starting to take effect. You couldn't get catnics, you couldn't get fucking this. I was driving over country to pick stuff up, prices were going through there. So it was like, that was my first realisation of things are going to get really bad. This is not getting better. And it was like, fuck.
What was the figure that you were looking at in your head that you're behind?
I think at that point, going to a midway up with the first five, I think I will probably already, my contingency had gone, and I was more or less about break even.
What stage at build was that?
I were halfway up with first five. I mean, if you think your materials have gone through the roof, I think there's an 800 grams worth of materials, and materials have gone up 30%. But you've other stuff. You've factor of lads not turning in through COVID. You've haulage. Your fuel had shot up. Even red diesel had turned to normal diesel.
Yeah.
I think within the time of that site.
Time delays. Investors still
Yeah, I
screaming
mean,
they want the
your
return.
interest and everything that's loaning up. It would just piling up and piling up and piling up. And
So let's just go to that van moment. You went in that van. You had a quick minute with
I got in van, like, yeah, no worries, it is what it is, get them ordered, they'll pay for it, get back in van, and I just turned key and I just fucking cracked out crying. And it was like, as in, like a little boy moment. Well, I think you just want somebody to tell you it's going to be all right. And it ain't. Do you know what I mean? You'd... just hang on a minute, I'll have some more cake. Could do with a cup of tea.
I remember.
Yeah. You can't really put it into... I think you go into a bit of self-doubt and like, fucking hell, why me? Why is this happening to me? Because you're in these networks and social media is fucking, still as it is, everybody's smashing the fuck out of everything. So I'm like, I'd say it. And everybody, and I don't know, you just kind of go in on your sen. And I think, if I'm getting a kicking for some fucking reason here, because I've hit every problem so far that I could possibly hit. But yeah, I think that was the first time where I kind of thought, I don't want to do this no more.
Could you see a way out?
There was no way out. I was PG'd up to my fucking eyeballs. I was balls deep. I were in. And it was like, fuck. And it was like the realisation of something's going to have to give now.
What was going to give? What was going through your mind?
I didn't know. I think when you're at that point, when you're alone, when you're in something so big as that and you're on your own, you start getting a bit embarrassed as well, because you've done all this good and all these people around you that see you to be this person of, you're doing some amazing stuff, but you're failing. And it's not through my own graft, I were turning up at 6 in the morning. I were doing a lot of stuff, and I were there till 6, 7, 8 o'clock on a night, just to keep things on track. And I've had people that have said, "Oh, I'd have run it this way, I'd have run it that way." Like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? You can't. It's not just running it; it's actually mentally being in the place where you can be present and try and take it on. And I mean, lads won't know a fucking thing. I'd still be I won't say Jack the lad, but I were a miserable fucker in times, but I was still there, or present and motivating them and stuff. But I don't know. I rolled my sleeves up a little bit and thought, right, come on, let's get these fucking first 5 done. I mean, we'll muck in, we'll do what we've got to do, and just get them done. And it were going all right, and then, such as fucking York getting into services, then everything were planned, everything were moving forward, and because of the railway crossing just down the road, any type of shovel in that main road had to be a closure. So we'd done as first road closure to get a drainage connection into site. I think that were a 6-day ground worker spot on in, no problem. But then we'd arranged a 10-day closure for Yorkshire Water, electric, gas, BT, all in these 10 days. We had meetings, multiple meetings, where everybody's going to swamp it. We all had lanes of where they're all going to be. And got on with that. Yorkshire Water turned up on day 9 of the 10-day road closure. We can't do this in a day. So, well, we know you should have been here, and I've been ringing you every fucking day since day 1 of where are you? And then the connection they were going on to, they couldn't connect onto that one because their paperwork was wrong, and that wasn't a whatever it was. So they had to take it off a feeder pipe, big fucking thing, far end at road, and get it in. And they were just delayed us, again, cost with road closures, highways on your case. And anything you did on that site had to involve Network Rail. So that delayed us. But no, I mean, we got the first 5 done, got the sales in. There were still challenges. I mean, getting people to complete and move in and stuff and get the site cleaned up. But we started digging the highway in, so we got all the pipe work in, and we had an impact test done on the road, where all it is like this weird looking thing with these things on them, and they basically I think we jacked the forklift up.
Yeah.
To put weight on this machine to see how much it was sinking over a matter of time. And the guys did it. I don't know how much it cost. It won't have been fucking cheap. Nothing is it? And it says it's sound, solid, no problems at all, report. But then Highways guy come and said, no, fucking dig it out. I'd prefer if you dig it out and put it back in.
Wasn't it like a small section, but you want to dig the whole lot?
It was a strip. It was like a T road. And he wanted it to go round, because obviously the pipework that we're in were one side of the road, and that were all concreted up, and it were laid on that and bedded, and it's big fucking 700 Ninja Turtle pipes underneath. So he's just said, yeah, dig it out and put it back in. But you can't dig out good ground that's been there for hundreds and hundreds of years.
And make it solid.
And it's going to be solid. It's going to be like fucking sponge, innit?
Yeah.
So I ended up costing me like an extra 20 grand or something.
I remember
time and build-ups, and because we did it and it failed, so we had to scrape it out and layer it with stone and do it that way. But again, that would cost. And then we'd gone from the build-up of the road being, I can't remember the thickness, it was something like 50 mil tarmac with a 90 mil block pave, so they wanted it tarmacking and block paved.
Yeah, Binaco and them.
Yeah, I ended up putting, I think they wanted 80 mil fucking tarmac with the bigger. So obviously the extra tarmac and cost and
all costs, not in budget.
So I think the adoptable highway ended up being just over 100 grand extra because of the highways changing the spec and what they wanted at time.
So is it fair to say you were wearing a cape during the day? Like, I'm being a character. This is the armour, the body armour that I'm putting on that I need to wear every day. But then when you went home, you took it off, had a shower, and you sat in your vulnerable self. You clearly, your head's telling you something. Were it lonely?
Yes, very fucking lonely.
Did you speak to anyone?
Not at that point, no. It were it were. I think I didn't realise there were I mean, I knew there were a problem, but I didn't realise how bad I'd got to a point where somebody who were buying plot 6 saw me in Asda and she says, "How are you?" I says, "I'm all right. Yeah, I'm just gathering some bits." She says, "Can you remember seeing me last week?" I says, "No." So I called to site, just pulled into the street to have a look, see how progress was going. You were there working 8 o'clock at night. She says, "But you were pissed as a fart." You think, fuck. I can't remember being at a point where, I was drinking. I can remember just going home and drinking a couple of bottles just to help me sleep, just, knock me out, fall asleep on the tea, but that's, my marriage would deteriorate like fuck then. It were, yeah, I suppose it's in the pit of, I'd gone in on myself, kind of, you know what I mean? It's had to go home, I'd be like, thank fuck for that, now it's just me. And I'd do a bit, I'd get in the zone. But I'd drink, I just got to a point where I was going home and drinking, sleeping on settee, as we wasn't together, clashing and I'll probably write horrible cunt. Sorry.
How did you feel? Yeah. What were the thoughts at your lowest?
This is going to be hard. The lowest of the low, was separated. She couldn't do with it anymore, and we weren't right. I was drinking heavily. I wasn't. And things had got that bad where I know the site was massive losses. I honestly thought, I'm going to go fucking bankrupt here. I've lost everything. I'm going to lose all respect with lads. My kids are going to hate me because we're going to have no home. We're going to lose everything. And it were like, it's the worst thing what out of all this is, how can we as people be so against ourselves? How can his own brain tell us we're worthless and we shouldn't even be here? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're better off dead. How can your own brain tell you on a regular basis the best thing you can do right now is get out of here? Your kids will be better off. Your own brain, there's a side of your brain telling you this, that insurance, whatever it is, everybody will be all right, and the kids will be happy, and you're miserable anyway. You're never fucking there. Take yourself away from it, everything will go. Because if you go through this, you're going to lose all respect through everybody. And you're going to have nothing anyway, so you may as well not be here and your kids have something. How can your own brain tell you that you're better off not being here? And that's how it starts, and you then start thinking of ways to do it on a regular basis. Oh, that scaffolding pole. What about them trusses? What about this? And you're thinking, well, no, somebody's going to find me. And then start thinking of places where you can do it, but nobody will find you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I used to black out quite a lot and not realise how I'd gone through a part of the day. And one day I couldn't even put my hat on one day. You think, it's the kind of me, it's kind of like my fucking crown, isn't it? But it's, in bed on a night, used to punch me sending head, tell my brain to stop, leave me alone. To a point it was bruised and shit, because I wanted that voice to say something nice. Do you know what I mean? Instead of, fucking hell, you fucked. You fucking useless piece of shit. What have you done to everybody? Are you going to be able to pay weight? And it's just that all night. And me and Danielle split up. The marriage fell apart. Ended up moving in on the site. And it just got worse. I couldn't escape the site while living in the site, waking up in the site. And yeah, one day I'd made my mind up, that were it. Not in a way of, it wasn't spontaneous and thing. I kind of knew it was gonna, and what I had to do, and it was, I was taking myself off to a place to get, I suppose, as a pussy way out of it in a way. I couldn't cope, couldn't do it, couldn't manage it, couldn't. I couldn't see a way out of it. Logically, there was ways out of it, but this one day, I were on my way to do whatever I were going to do. And if it wasn't for Danielle, well, just she was ringing me, and it was just like, what the fuck's going on? I wasn't there. She knew it. She knew all folks, and she says, you need to get yourself home now. Home as in the marital home. And she looked after me for a few weeks.
It goes to show that, like, this game is brutal. It really is brutal. But even though it's going through the worst of times, we're human beings at the end of the day. And even though that, you know, the marriage weren't going well, the site weren't going well, Danielle's still there.
Yeah,
still
I mean,
human.
You made me go home. She phoned doctor straight away. And fucking highly medicated me to a point where I felt numb. It kind of just... And this one day, and I just went back to work next day like nothing had happened, highly medicated and like still in this fucking pit of doom. And I still thought about seeing myself off. But it wasn't as... I mean, it worked. It does work. It's medication. I mean, it's whatever it does to your brain. But I honestly felt like I was 2 steps behind myself at that point then. I was numb. I was empty. I was lost. I wasn't present.
But you showed up every day.
Every fucking day, still long days. And I think it were at a point where... I think we had like that 40-degree heat, didn't we?
It was insane. I'll tell you what, from a different aspect, you know, looking at the journey as it was happening, I was going through similar, nowhere near what, you know, you were going through. I was going through a similar journey with different challenges, but seeing your posts spurred me on because you never showed the negative effects of what it actually had on you. You showed every day you were still powerful, you were getting up, your mindset was incredible.
I mean...
You hid all of this.
Yeah, a lot of lads didn't know. I mean, at the time of the darkness, my cousin Chad, who worked for me then, and with me, he were in with me. I mean, he's like me, he's a grafter. I'd come out of a plot 6 or whatever it was, 7 o'clock on a night, and I'd look over and his van's still there, and he's in plot 5 fucking batting on, out of love, absolute top fucking lad. But he said to me that he used to pull in sight in the morning, shitting himself. Because he thought he'd honestly find me fucking on there, and he kind of knew what were going on. But yeah, I mean, I got through a highly medical 2 or 3 weeks into it, and I just woke up one morning and I thought, what the fuck am I doing with myself? It's like I'd woke up and just like talk, you know, the chimp paradox where you've got 2 sides. I had this big fucking argument. I'd been run by my chimp for a fucking long time. I were eating shit, drinking a lot. I wouldn't say I were alcoholic. I wasn't dependent. I just wanted it to turn my brain off, to shut my body down so it could recharge, so I could work. My body physically I needed it to sleep, so the alcohol had knocked my brain out. You couldn't really have a drunken conversation with yourself. I think that was my route. So I just woke up this one morning and I thought, I'm not fucking taking this medication no more.
There was a turning point on socials, and you turned every negativity into, it is what it is, and I'll beat it. It won't beat me.
From that moment, I think I hit the bottom of self-destruction and being at a point where you think your kids are better off without you and all. I mean, how fucking shit is that? And I kind of had that conversation, whether I've had this dream or within myself, I can't remember anything, but I woke up this morning and think, right, your life today starts now. day one. Stop the fucking drugs. Look after yourself. And I Googled brain reset. How can I get this fucker back in gear? And it was 75 hard.
75 hard.
And so I said to her, Chad, do you fancy doing this with me? He was like, whatever you need to do, I'll do it. So it was 75 days, 2 workouts a day, stick to a diet, read 10-page motivational book. And if you fail any of the days, any of those moments, you go back to day one and
Start again.
You start again. That along with everything else. So Leighton's business, cafe, fucking lads on site, everything that were how it was. And I did it. I did it. Failed day one. Missed one at things. So back day 2 is day one.
Yeah.
Got to day 14, failed. Might have missed, because I'm managing, I'm a single parent at this point.
Yeah.
I'm back to living on site. Danielle's done everything in a way she could for me. She knew we're all right. Around about this time anyway, because I'd said to doctor, don't ring me every day, because I were on basically a call list every day.
Yeah.
How are you? What you doing? How are you? I mean, 1.7 million in debt, all this. Wife's just fucking kicked me out and all this lot. And I just said, don't ring me anymore. Ring me once a week. He says, what do you mean? I said, I've stopped the medication. Ring me on Fridays and touch base, and hopefully I'm still here. And what it is, Craig, you can't do, this is not what it's about. You can't stop your medication. You're on the highest dose or whatever it is you can have. And I said, well, that is what it is. Ring me next Friday. I says, I need to do something and get myself back on track. And anyway, phoned me a week after I'd been a week into this, 2 workouts a day. I mean, it was fucking hard. I just wanted to be a slob and stuff, but that were like it's like the property, the building. We set ourselves a goal and a target, and we will do it.
Yeah.
And this came personal to me, where if I don't sort myself out, I'm fucked, basically. So, yeah, I'd gone a week for Mrs. Craig. I can't believe your sound of your voice is different. How are you talking? And he says, just keep doing what you're doing. So I did it. I failed up to day 14, back to day 1. And then I got up to day 54. So I'd done, 54 days plus 14 days plus the couple. I was in good shape, mentally switched on. I was still broken because I was in a pit of, I was still in this beast of, right, come on, graft. On it way, I can fucking do it.
You're on a spring in your step, though.
It brought me round. I mean, yeah, I think it was dark. It was still dark, but I knew how to kind of manage it. And because I'm reading motivational books, I'm reading about mindset, depression, anxiety, severe anxiety, the anxiety of like role-playing things and talking things through, and it's like I had to stop that. I used to go for a walk every night and I'd let the anxiety run.
Yeah.
Let it go, talk it all out, shout it out, and then I answered it. Can I do anything about that? No. Is it going to hurt my kids? No. Will I lose my kids? No. Off we go. And it would just get everything to the fucking bone. And I ended up getting rid of all the lads on site, and I just like basically sitting down looking at everything that there is. Obviously, I'm getting a divorce. Everything's ramping up on that front, so I just thought it would just get rid of everything. Get rid of everything, close the gates, keep the team really small. The structure and the ground's pretty much done now, so it's all in my realm.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we've got sales in for all 10 because the market were moving right, and then the interest rate shot up.
Yeah.
I lost everything. All the sales and everything had gone. So it was like, fuck, right, this is going to be... That's when I made the decision, I've got to get rid of everything. And really, I should have just gone bankrupt. Just called it a day, walked away from site, and said to everybody involved, look, it's gone. I can't do any more. I've tried my fucking hardest, and I can't do it, but I didn't. I just said, fuck it, I'm going to sell everything. I'm going to put everything into it, because I'm not passing this site knowing it's beat me. And that was it. I just did everything I could to try and swing it through. And
what I love about this, right, is no matter what shit happens, there was a point in your life where you were going to let something beat you. There's something triggered where you realised, I am unbeatable. It's not going to beat me. Now, I don't want to like fast track this thing, but you beat that bastard.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You absolutely beat. It was a bastard. It was a test. But like you said, and you said this from day one, it was university.
Yeah.
I'll see you at the finish line.
Yeah.
You've hit that finish line. You can
Every-
smile about that because it didn't beat you.
No, it didn't be. It's just realisation of just how hard things can be. That site should never have been run by me. It should never have been. I should never have bought it.
Or should anybody have bought it, Craig?
Well, no, but it's. Would I do it again? Would I change anything? No. I've got an amazing relationship with my ex-wife. Kids are absolutely amazing. The whole focus of everything that I do is about those children now, and relationships around them children. So I wouldn't change anything. It shaped me better. I just wish the losses weren't as bad as what they were, and for people involved and stuff. I don't like that. I mean,
Do you want to share the deal sheet from what it started to what it ended?
I got to a point where I've not really. I'm probably about 600,000. I got to a point. Well, what's the point in me working it out to the penny anymore? It's a vast amount of money, which it's you can go over it, and what's the point?
I love that you can move past it now because the reality is the bastard's gone. It didn't beat you. It tried its best.
I mean,
Nearly
I
succeeded.
sold the last one in November. And to that day, living on a building site, somebody said to me, "You can't live on a building site. You can't live on your own building site. They won't leave you alone." And they didn't. But me being me, I'd cut everybody's grass because I like to be busy. And some days where I had no money, I mean, I had no income coming in.
Yeah.
I was finishing the houses, working on them, doing what I can, smudging, selling whatever I can, cash flowing coming in, I'd put it straight in. And I just kept myself busy, maintained it, looked after it. You know, so the 5 plots that I was selling, what wasn't selling, I'd have to maintain them and stuff, and I'd cut other people's gardens if it was in and around it.
A lifestyle, basically.
Yeah, but people are knocking me down. Craig, I've got a plaster pop, and you see you pulling street, and it were like,
Leave me alone.
heads down. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I go out, but a lot of times I were in anyway. But it was dark. I mean, for a long time, for a couple of years, there'd been many a time where I'd be crying my eyes out on the bedroom floor on my own, thinking, what the fucking hell, how am I going to get out? Because I was tied into development finance. I'd gone over term. Interest rates obviously had shot up. And I had to go to exit development finance. But when you're talking over £1 million and you're changing from a lender to a lender, it's not a 500 quid changeover. You're tens of thousands in fees, and
100 grand
brokers'
disappears
fees
like
are
that.
still making fucking shitloads of money. And you can't do anything about it, and you've just got to deal with it. But I think at a point, I don't know, 10, 12 grand a month in interest. I had a year of that, and it's just sinking fucking brass for sake of sinking brass. And I could not move. I was watching like my ex-wife move on with her life. She met somebody else, and I just felt as though I was stuck. I'm
Sinking
being
sand.
punished here for a reason, and it's like the world's moving on, and I'm being punished for whatever I've done. I mean, one of those wells must have been the front door to the devil's pit, and I pissed the bastard off.
But you cemented it shut, mate.
Yeah, but whatever, it was there, and I mean, I pass it now, and I smile, and I salute it, and I do say, "You daft fucker, Craig, you daft fucker." But the lessons learned, the education from it, you don't even know you've learned it, and it's there. Do you know what I mean? You
No, but for people listening to this, for people who are going to know you and follow on socials, if there is ever a mentor to just have an accountability or a sound buyer, pick the fucking phone up.
Yes, I think for anybody who's watching it, who can relate to it, who wants to get into this sort of thing, it's have somebody around you that you can drop on. Somebody who's a true friend is somebody who'll tell you straight.
Absolutely.
And I don't think people do, and people don't listen. But sometimes I think you have. But I mean, for anybody, I've helped people when I were at a low point as well, and I'll always be there for people. I think for anybody going through anything where if it's a divorce is hard enough, but to be massively losing your shit within a building site, and because I didn't just lose the ex-wife, I lost a family, I lost everything that were in it, the family home, my belongings. I left with a suitcase and a fucking lawnmower.
I love the lawnmower.
Well, you know what I mean? I like cutting grass, and it was like, And to start again, I think for any person coming out of a divorce and rebuilding yourself at 40-year-old, even the little things of, I ain't got an ironing board. I need an iron. Knives, forks, pots, washing machine. And it's slowly building yourself up to now where I can sit in my garden actually and look back in at what I'm doing and think, I'm all right. I'm all right. It is quite liberating and nice, but I think for anybody in shit, mentally, whether it's a fiver, I mean, you hear of kids being a couple of grand in debt and they hang the sends and do the sends in and it breaks me heart that I think it's whether it's a fiver or £1 million, debt's debt and it worries and it becomes dark. And I think it's for anybody, I'd help anybody, whether it's male or female, if they're in. And I've helped people who's male and female within business where they've been in bad places. And me just sitting and talking about my problems to them gives them they're not alone.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in shit, but we just bandage it and get on thinking one day it'll get better. And there were times when I'd analyse the deal and the site and it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But then it'd just get... And people would say to me, oh, you're so indecisive, you're changing your mind. I'm like, I don't know which way the wind's going to fucking blow tomorrow. You know what I mean? With interest rates shooting up and doing...
Can't control what you can't control.
I can't. And it's like, right, well, I've got to deviate now. I've got to go with this. I've got to do this instead. And I got to a point where I'd finish each plot, so I know they were done. But I just had to wait for them to sell. But the market at the point, nobody was buying. So it would just... hanging as long as I fucking can. And I think we lowered plot 10, 50 grand within a week it had sold. And it were a good buy. But I could just... I can't put into emotion the day that I pulled off that site, knowing that I don't live there anymore and they're all sold.
Go on.
Do
you have a sense of relief?
I went back into the week and I was a bit pissed off because they're not maintaining it.
That's just you all have. You have tendency to get lawnmower out.
It was just the boundary where the fence were and stuff, weeds were growing through it, and I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. It's my pride and joy as much as it smacked my ass.
It's a university, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really, really incredible. I mean, the journey I went through losing that money was insane, and I did like you cope with it behind the scenes. I was fortunate that I was forced to work day and night, so I didn't have the time to myself to think. I remember my dad saying to me one time, we were working in London, so I was working nights in London, days in Oxford, but I'd leave my crew in London, do the nights, and I'd drive over to Oxford, do a day shift, come back. And my dad looked at me one day and he went, I'm driving, get your head down. And I had half an hour from East Ham into London for congestion zone. And when my dad looked at me and just went, I'm driving, he didn't have to say it.
No.
I knew I was fucked. And normally I'm that kind of guy. But going back to your journey, you know, the skills that you have are into your core. You're unbreakable as a man, but yet as humans, we are still vulnerable. And it's okay not to be okay. But I think what's been very evident is that support network. The bond that you have with Danielle and the kids is insane. Be it you're together now or not, regardless. There's something that no one can break. It
is nice, and I think it's going into the world of dating and being in that. Some people find it weird. And people do, like, I'll tag her in stuff on Instagram, and it's like, that's fucking weird. And it's like, it's not. It's
not weird.
It's my daughter, so it involves her. And it's if my kids can stand back and think, Mum and Dad are, you know what I mean? There's no bickering, nonsensical shit. The beauty about the situation is now she can tell me to fuck off. Yeah. Or I can tell her to fuck off, and I can walk off. We have that bit, and I get on with her. I get on with a fella, and it is brilliant. It's the whole thing now of moving on, and I think for the first time in a long time, from what I can remember, I'm at a point where I'm excited with what's coming, and I've been putting fires out for a fucking long time, and it's we could do another podcast on a few other issues, but I got a CCJ lifted off me last Friday.
That's mega. Congrats.
I mean, I got it lifted through the courts. It should have been put on a company a long time ago for whatever it is, but we can go into we'll probably do another one on on that on itself. But even like such as the credit score, which I've always prided myself on, of being able to borrow money and stuff, I am shit scared of borrowing money.
Yeah.
I've worked my tits off for a year and a half now, basically building the foundation of the next business to make sure that we'll never ever be put in that position again.
Yeah.
Which takes us to the next site of the 7 houses, which I've just grouted, which massively went over budget, and give me a depth of I think I put it on the guy who, when I was in Leeds last week, which I said to you when I walked into this boozer in Leeds, really nice bar and grill, really nice. I won't say hoity-toity, but smart dressed people. I'm in an hoodie and me backwards hat.
You're just you.
And this guy's over the side of me doing these shapes and stuff to me. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And he's doing all this, and I went and sat down, and this tray come over with a couple of cups of tea and a glass of champagne. And the guy over there sent it over. And I'm like, so I go over, and he's like, I'll follow you on Instagram. So I started following you when you started grouting recently on that, and you did a post, sat in Digger. And you could see how broken you were, how real, how bad it was. I mean, the first drill we'd put in on this grouting site, it dropped. I think it dropped like 9 metres. And I'm sat there and I'm like, fuck.
Not again.
No way. And that site, the grouting were worse. We ended up putting 540 tonne in on 52 holes. And the other site were 520 tonne over 150 holes. But the difference was there were no grout and no coal left in on this one. The mined it and backfilled it with shit, so it was soft and dried and voided.
Don't we make a joke about that the government, or at least Cass, should be paying you?
I've underpinned Castleford. I've put over 1,100 tonne of concrete under Castleford.
1,100 tonnes.
Wagon loads after wagon loads of.
Everyone's value must have gone up in Cass.
I know.
Cheers, Craig.
Everybody's made money, but it's
off the back of you.
Off the back, but that's a good site now. It's at a point where, I mean, I've grafted my tits off. I've just been renovating, gone back to basics, renovating, and building the base back up of what I do. So I'm going to build D7 starting New Year, and I don't know what the direction I'm going to go in. What I'm going to do, I'd like to help people. I would. I think. I've always been good at that. I've always been good with people. But I don't know.
I think what's really impressive is your mindset's been indestructible.
I think part of the 75 hard and the process of educating yourself on yourself and how you work. I know my body now, and I'm at a point I've had takeaways. I ain't had a kitchen since November, so I've kind of slipped. I've been eating shit and I feel shit, and my body's like saying, right, so next week I'm going to start back working out again, get myself back into where I need to be. But a lot of learning and understanding depression and anxiety, I can sense when I get it. And I think I always take myself, if I feel as though I'm in a position where it is triggering me, I'll take myself away from it. I've become quite... It probably comes across again with me. I've fucking 3.5 years single now, and it's when it comes to dating and putting myself in a position to find somebody else. I probably am withdrawn. I'm very cautious of drama.
All of it.
Do you know what I mean? Because you get into it. I mean, there's some amazing people out there, but I just think, I probably don't need that right now. Met some amazing people, but I don't know if I probably am incredibly picky, and I'm in a good place. I'm very on a Saturday night, a single bloke sits on a settee with a cup of tea and a cake and watches a fucking series on a Saturday night.
All of it.
Whereas really I should be out on town off my tits. Do you know what I mean? Living life. But I'm very content. Even like my child-free weekends, I do spend a lot of time on my own.
Yeah.
But I spend a lot of time with my kids. It's
what, like, from an outsider looking in, using your social media as the viewpoint there, you're really inspirational. You know, your kids are literally part of your life, and they're growing up with you. You know, I try and make sure out of school my lads are in and amongst what I'm doing. They understand it, they can see it, see how hard it is. Yours have 100% been there as well, and as a father as well, that's really inspirational. You know, again, people are going to see this, make their own minds up, don't get me wrong, but what nobody could take away from the experiences that you've had is that get up and attack the next day as a new day, regardless.
Break everything up into smaller. I got to a point where my day were broke up between tea breaks.
Yeah.
So you get up at 8 o'clock, you'll be on site at 8, so I've got an hour before my next tea break. I need to achieve something in that hour, and then I've got 11 o'clock, 12:30, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So I got to a point where I didn't plan. I never planned far ahead. I was very reactive to the day as and when it happened. Yeah. I've still got a bit of anxiety when it comes to emails, because a lot of this higher end shit all comes through email.
Yeah, of course it does, yeah. It's all compliance.
And it's like,
what's that? Oh, what's that brown letter coming through box?
Fuck, it's
like a breeze block when it comes through letterbox, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, what is that?
And it's but a lot of the shit is now. I mean, everything I'm dealing with is in a positive front now. The fires are pretty much
under control,
pretty much out. So it's I'm not into starting fires now. I don't think. I think it's I'm spraying everything with fire extinguisher as I walk through a room, just so it doesn't fucking start.
Start igniting.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So listen, we can go for easy, and I think we definitely need to do another one about what's about to come and things like that. But before we do, let's just go into just some like very quick lesson takeaways for anybody going through or starting to think about going through this journey.
Don't build houses and don't get married. No, I think marriage is I had a good marriage. We just that found its course and it went its way. Ambition has got a lot to be said for, but I think I don't know what key takeaways.
Key takeaways.
The main one, I think, for anybody such as a builder or don't do adoptable highways, ever. No reason to, unless there's serious amounts of money in the plots around it. I mean, there's more money to be made on these 7, which runs parallel with a road, than the building side of the houses is easy, but that adoptable highway is fucking the agreements and stuff you have to get into. And don't build next to a railway line crossing, because everything's a closure. You can't have a single lane traffic next to a closure because of if it comes back on itself.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean? So if somebody comes through and the lines come down, they all stop because it's on green midway, and then it opens back up. Right. You've got that crossover, and it's danger. So any little thing is, from services is a big thing. So, and then don't build in COVID.
Can't control what you can't control.
I mean, some people made a lot of money in COVID, and some people lost a lot. And I was just one of the ones that, from a monetary point, I lost.
You invested.
But from a personal point, I made.
Yeah.
I gained a really good friend, again, being the ex-wife, and I become a better person. I think it's people will still have personal opinions of, you always get it, don't you? There's been a few people hurt by obviously that site and stuff, but things will get healed over time. When somebody such as like me and you, when there is graft in front, we can't be touched. If knowing what we know now, we know we can. So things will get better.
Yeah.
And people will see that eventually. My wings were clipped and they're not now. They're kind of like, I'm setting off again. I keep falling over a few times, but it's...
if you could put a price on someone inheriting that lesson that you've been through, so they don't have to experience it, but they could pay for it, how much would that price be?
I don't know. I mean, I could. There's loads more value in there that you could attach to and not to do and stuff like that. But I don't know to monetize it.
We see people, and I see it now, pop-up builders coming up and we're about to do this, and you see them, the fair play to them, they're doing the videos, which is amazing. I've not done it on socials because of probably the same reason where, one, I've got a face for radio, not for TV, but secondly, there's a lot of people out there who tell you what to do and they've never experienced it. I've been took for a lot of money, and that did something to me, which was difficult.
Would you change that?
No.
again, it's one of them where you can be bitter and drag it on and or utilise it and think. I think for how you've done, you've rolled your sleeves up to a point where me and you've got vests on now. We've rolled them up that
Yeah,
fucking
where have
much.
they gone?
It's them string.
Yeah.
It's a string vest, but it's. Yeah, I think again, it going back to who we are and how we are as well. It's about there is a positive in every fucking negative. You've just got to look hard enough. Do you know what I mean? There is in everything in fucking building sites and losing a lot of money. Look at it. There's a positive somewhere in that. Always. I mean, a divorce. There's a positive in that in some cases. I mean, you've your kids and your relationships and stuff. So that it's
as tough as it can be. You have to see the positives, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, losing money on a project and stuff like that. If you go back over it and analyse it and how you've done it, there's a lot you unforeseens. And I was warned with building, until you're out of that ground, you do not, and you cannot pin your price down.
Yeah.
You can have all this, is what it is, but until you've actually got them foundations in and you're done, I mean, you'll have done fucking hit services, fucking everything that's not
Works,
been there. And you hit a service, it's not, well, it gives 10 bob. No, it's fucking thousands as a process to go through. And
more than a year's salary for most.
yeah, for somebody starting out, I think stay small. It's
Earn your stars and stripes and don't get to rocket.
Yeah.
Slow it down.
Listen to us guys in a way, it will come, the bigger stuff. I mean, I have no aspirations to be a big house builder or anything now. I think I will find my way of where I'm going to go. I'll always be trade and probably more high-end flips, smaller plots, carve them up, buy a decent-sized house, more exclusive house. We can carve the garden off and build them an exclusive house, that sort of thing. I don't know. I'd like to make some money and enjoy it for a little bit.
Have an holiday.
I've had some holidays. There's one thing I've done, the solo and looking after myself. And if there's an itch, I scratch it. I went on a retreat to Ibiza. Solo retreat. Yeah. Ended up being just me and a load of women. Doing Pilates and yoga. My ass fell out when I got there. I'm like,
what am I doing?
Fuck. I walked in the room and I said to a woman who were dealing with it, Danielle, can I have a word? And it's like, what the fuck? She says, yeah. I didn't really want to say oh, but it's like, I mean, they're all lovely. And I went there, not like thinking, hey, here we go, lads. No. I was like, right, well, I'm doing my own thing anyway. I mean, with hike and kayak and stuff like that, but I spent a lot of time on me, cups of tea and reading, and it were amazing. It were good for it. I mean, for anybody, I think the solo stuff is good for it. It's like survival. You go somewhere, you don't know where you're going to eat, what you're going to do, language barriers. You're like a child again starting out. You know what I mean? So I've enjoyed that. I think next year I'm going to do a few, like more of like there's Vietnam or Yukon River. Something like a bit self-challenging.
Yeah.
For me. And then obviously it's stuff with kids, but it's I don't know. I think I just want to graft, make some brass. Spend it on kids and holidays and keep building the beast. Obviously, I'm going to reinvest, keep doing.
Yeah, well, you got to do that.
But it's the direction's still unclear,
which is absolutely fine.
But I'm going to build. I haven't named it. I think I might have done. I might have called it Bonnie.
Get out at ground first.
Bonnie Blue, because it had some concrete in it.
I love it. Bonnie Blue's found a way into the podcast.
Bonnie Blue, yeah.
Well, she swallowed a bit, to be fair to her.
Such a shame, innit?
Once you're up and out, you sound, but... Listen, I think we're going to do this again on what's to come next.
Yeah, I think do a regular of what we're doing, I think, because I don't know. Even sitting here now, I mean, it's one of them like, fucking hell, Craig, get a grip. But... I think it's good for people to see and understand just the darkness and the place people can go into.
Well, it's the real side of it. The Instagram shit, bar yours, is like the bullshit. And I've stayed well away from that. I do odds and sods now because obviously I'm getting a telling off of these. I should be doing it more. But I really have stayed away from it. And I probably do need to do more. But I can't be arsed with seeing the bullshit.
I like to see it motivates me, to be honest, because, yeah, you just look
Well,
at
yours
it.
does motivate me.
The thing of, I mean, when I came to watch you at the property developer show, I mean, good that I enjoyed it. And there were a couple of people on, I mean, the Emma who does the flipping and stuff.
Yeah.
How she talked about trades and looking after trades, and I was sat at the back of the room thinking, that's so fucking refreshing.
Yeah.
Look after him, buy him tea, fish and chip Friday, cake, and
I
pulled her up and said, look, you look after your trades that well, how can I be a trade?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I'm fucking jacking everything, I'm coming to work from you, but it was so refreshing, and for what she's done, I've watched her, and it's nice. I mean, some might say she's a few peggings back from me, but what whether you're doing a terraced house, one house you starter, I look up to that person in
Absolutely.
a way because they inspire me because of the journey that I've kind of been on, where I can relate to it, and it makes me think, well, I can keep doing it. It's I started with no.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with no. So yeah, just I love the fucking game.
Yeah. For me, it's going to continue. You know, and we'll have to keep doing this because this, to me, like I said, the game doesn't stop. We'll just get more experience, right? A bit more dafter. But listen, I can't thank you enough for sharing what you've shared today. It's been an insight.
It's been a long time coming. I think we could have gone in a lot more detail with it. The end numbers, I mean, yeah, we can't cover everything on something like
The
this.
end result for me is you beat the bastard.
The process of it, I've got my Medal of Honour.
You got your university degree. You got the experience.
I've got
You're here to
a
tell
qualification in my mind, and it's talking about it and helping people in it.
Yeah,
I think
massively.
Without an hidden agenda.
I talk a lot about hesitation, and get on with it, action taking. And as daft as it sounds, you can look back and have lessons. I can look back and have lessons on my life. But the reality is we've actually done it. There are still a lot of people out there today who will just procrastinate and not do it. Some cases, like what we've been through, it's better not to experience it. But you can either pay a lot of money for education and never do it, or actually do it and realise there was proof in the pudding that
If I'd had all
you can come
education
out
in the
experienced.
world and done that site, it'd have been exactly the same.
No different.
It's how you deal with it. And yeah, probably if it had been a group of you as a business, like me and you in that, we'd have been sat down all night thinking, right, fuck, we're in it together. How?
Yeah.
It's the loneliness side, and I just wouldn't recommend to anybody to be that person.
No.
I think surround yourself, bring people in on it.
Even if it's accountability. And even if you are going to go through a dark time, get a war room together and do it now. If you're going to go into a dark place, have someone who can drag you back into the room and go, look, I know it's going to be bad. We'll make sure you don't fall flat on your face, even if it's money. We can all work this shit out.
It's a sense of pride. I think as blokes, we like to be the man, the alpha, the I'm all right.
Done that, been there.
And then
I still am there.
it's when you close that bedroom door and you get in bed on a night, and whether it's your side of bed sharing with somebody else, they have no fucking clue sometimes what you're trying to do and defend them from. And I think it's
You try and protect them.
you do, but in a way you're hurting them. I mean, to think if I wasn't as strong as what I was, and if I didn't have that day of chasing me up and finding out actually what I were doing, you've got to have some loving people around you, and I suppose they've got to have some balls as well, just to give you the slap.
Yeah.
I wish I had even a fucking punch.
Yeah.
Maybe a few punches, just not fuck out of me. Do you know what I mean?
Give
So I
me
can
a-
wake up for a few weeks knowing bruises are there, and it's like I need to sort myself out. It's, but I personally will never put myself in that position again.
Yeah.
I'd probably ring you up and say, oh, fucking hell, I've fucked up again. What do you think of this? Or not so fucked up. This has fucking happened.
This is happening. What am I doing here? Just sound
Even
it
if you say, oh, you're fucked.
out. Yeah.
It's like, right,
You can work it
we
out.
know that now, so what we're going to do.
Mm.
And I think it's share the problem. And it is, problem shared is, it does help.
Well, listen, thanks again for sharing this. We'll definitely get back for a round 2 for sure.
Thanks for tea.
Thanks for cake and coffee and
Has it?
and biscuits. But well, till next time. Bang on. Cheers, Craig.
Sound.
How'd you feel there?